To all those listeners who have joined us in the early hour. The first hour of the morning is probably the most challenging because sometimes you're still completing your rest and we're not quite warmed up yet. But this morning, we're so pleased to tell you it's already done.
Yes, it's
It's
already
already
done. What a
done.
powerful declaration. As you say, my friend, all the time, we fight from a place of victory.
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 Victoria. So we're
Yes.
trying to get rid of Elizabeth Victoria. Is
But
that
I
her
have a
middle name?
Victoria in my life. I have a goddaughter. Her name is Victoria.
Oh, good. So we'll still have a
Yeah,
Victoria.
man, we still have a Victoria, and she was rightly named Victoria because she came through circumstances to be born. So
She fought her
whatever
way
way she fought her
into
way
existence.
into victory. So we salute her this morning, and my declaration continues to be arise shine, for the light of God has come into your life. You have stepped out of 2021 into 2022. There may be seemingly darkness, but remember this: you arise and you are shining with the light of God ahead of you. Have you ever seen a movie where somebody's walking and it is dark, and then suddenly you see steps, there's a pathway, but you have to put your foot first, and you see the next one appear, and it's like there's a path. So it will be. The Lord will be your light. He will show you the path. In Isaiah, it speaks of the fact that you'll hear a voice behind you saying to you, "This is the way, walk therein." So, as we've stepped into 2022, we walk confidently forward, knowing that the light of God is with us, He's there to help us. Indeed, the Word of God says that we must not be afraid. And one of the things that guides me is Joshua 1:9. Joshua 1:9, Joshua 1:9, be strong and courageous. Do not be dismayed. Or I'd paraphrase it, be driven out of what by what you see. Why? Because I am with you. That was the word of the Lord to Joshua, even as he got ready to walk into his promised land. And the question that I'm asking a lot of people: what is your promised land? What is your promised land? Mountain is it that you have to conquer? Where do you need to step into as you go forward with confidence in 2022?
All right, I'm gonna do a little realignment. It of course for this season
Mhm.
we are focusing on possessing the mountain. It's not just conquering it. Remember, it is to possess it.
If you
It
conquer something, you don't
yeah.
possess it.
No, you don't have to. You can conquer your fear and leave it behind you.
And then do what?
Leave it behind you.
But the fear is what is preventing you from possessing. You think?
Possessing what? No, it can be something. All right, we're following our own red herrings.
I'm just
I
saying
gotta
it. I'm
watch
just.
you. I'm gonna be very very careful this season. I will not be distracted. That is
Like I
part of my
said, yeah.
commitment.
I'm just going
So
forward. Yeah.
yeah, no, it's because we're standing in the Caleb spirit. Caleb went in to spy out the land, and he saw a mountain there that would be arduous to climb, to build on it, to farm, to possess it. And he said, "That's the piece I want." He wasn't looking for flat land that you could just flow into it or whatever. He saw a mountain and he wanted to possess the mountain. Now, what you overcome in possessing your mountain, the obstacles, the briars, the rocky terrain, the the high altitude and low oxygen, difficulties to breathe. Those are the obstacles, the challenges that might confront you, but you remain focused always on the mountain, which you will one day possess and build your house on the plateau and enjoy the great view and everybody look up at you. And it is easy to defend because few will try to take down a mountain. That is the assumption. And that's the focus that we want to bring to this season. There are some things that we desire that appear to be mountains, but they're entirely within our ability to attain. We want better security in our country. Right now, it looks very much like a mountain because we are so far from it in certain critical aspects. Most of us may not feel that we are vulnerable to attacks, but the reality of it is when we see the number of incidents that occur on a daily basis, we begin to recognize that, you know what, it is way closer to me than I think. So, security, having that comfort that you can move about in your country without fear of interference, whether it is from law enforcement or from, illegal sources. We need to be restored in that way. On the economic side, many of us are, I don't know if this morning I heard someone saying something about living from paycheck to paycheck. Some people don't have a paycheck. So it is a day to day struggle and focus on how you will sort of look after yourselves and your family. So your economic survival and security is a mountain for some persons needing to possess, to get into that place of financial well being. For some, it's a matter of career choices and opportunities, and opportunities for work that leave you fulfilled and feeling dignified as a human being. Those opportunities are getting scarcer and scarcer, fewer and farther between, because contraction in the economy means those opportunities will also lessen. But understand that each man, in the sovereign exercise of his own authority, can get up and decide to be a producer instead of a consumer, an employer instead of an employee. You can, by striking out in an independent way, become a part of the solution for someone else. So if you can't get a job, create your own job and become an employer. And these are the mountains that some of us are looking at and want to possess because we want to stand in an independent, fulfilled, and dignified way. We don't, not all of us want to be hustling and turning tricks, to paraphrase, but not all of us want to be out there living by our wits. We want to be engaged in gainful, dignified, respectable employment. And sometimes, when you cannot find it in the system, you have to create it, and in so doing, be an answer for someone else who is searching. So that's another mountain. Um, on the matter of public health, we we now know, based on what has unfolded over the last 2 years, we now know that we do not have the capacity to execute at the level that is desired. I'm going to say that, put it that way. We have the capacity to plan. We as a nation, we the country of Jamaica, through the leadership and the institutions that form part of how we administer services in the health sector, do not have the capacity to execute at the desired level. I say that because while we have the brain power, while we have the political will, perhaps, to accomplish certain things, when we make our plans and deploy, they do not give us the desired result. My friend Gordon Robinson wrote a somewhat amusing piece in the weekend papers speaking about his efforts to get the booster shot for himself and his wife. And in the end, he concluded that people want to be vaccinated. That's not the problem. Vaccine hesitancy is not the problem. The problem is the difficulties that you encounter. The willing who want to be vaccinated endure unending difficulties. And it frustrates them to the point where some abandon course. Gordon is not known to be one to abandon course, so he did get it done, but it was after several attempts. And also, as he said, he has his private vehicle, so he could make repeated efforts. What about the person who have to take taxi, get a driver, depending on your age, whatever it is that you need to do, and it costs every time you set out? I know that only too well. You have to buy gas, you have to be on the road, you face exposure to other persons, and therefore a risk to your health. So some of those challenges that we experience do not come from external forces. They are all internal, all difficulties to mobilize and execute at the desired level. So that's a mountain that we need to possess. That mountain. We need to be in a position where we can do things competently and with great success.
So if I'm understanding your concept of mountains, you conquer and you possess, or you possess and you conquer?
This is in the Caleb moment, because mountains are addressed scripturally in different ways. Christ said, with that little mustard seed faith, you can say to this mountain, be thou removed and cast into the sea. A mountain that you're casting into the sea is not a mountain that you're seeking to possess. It's a problem that you're seeking to get rid of.
So
Caleb's mountain
was equating it to a problem that needs to be solved.
Caleb's mountain?
Yes.
No, Caleb's mountain was desirable real estate.
Okay. But so in different contexts and different instance, the mountain can represent different
things.
Okay, that's why I'm in your speaking, we need to make that very clear in terms
if
of
we're in the book of Joshua, speaking to a mountain, we're speaking to a desirable piece of real estate,
a desirable result that you need
that you want to possess.
Okay, so it's time for the
I will
break.
take the break, and you and I can explore it a little bit more. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-382-528 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
The Go Loud Cash Call is live and 50K is on the line. Tune in to Best FM Tuesday, January 4 and Friday, January 7, 2022 to listen to live calls. Who knows? It could be your lucky number. Must be using the Go Loud app and a Digicel customer to qualify. Go Loud, simply more radio and podcast. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Best
The station that makes you feel good.
I love the station. I think it's great.
My station.
Moving.
My station.
Moving. Keep it right here. Keep it right here.
Best FM. Keep listening.
We're committed to reducing the impact of disasters occurring in Jamaica. We're ever ready to assist you before, during, and after a disaster. But everybody have a role to play, so make we work together and follow the plan. Whether rich or poor or where you come from, hurricanes affect everyone, so be prepared. Prevention is better than cure. Be prepared. Listen to ADBEM.
A message from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management.
Who's ready to answer the Go Loud Cash Call? Here's your chance to be one of 4 winners of 50,000 weekly. Just answer the Go Loud Cash Call with the phrase
Simply More Radio and Podcast,
and the money is yours. Tune into Best FM Tuesday, January 4 and Friday, January 7, 2022 to listen to live calls. Go Loud, Simply More Radio and Podcast. Text 402 to 137 for more information. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
Live the life. Respect the music. And keep your radio locked in. Best 100 FM.
My hope is built on nothing less than Jesus' blood and his righteousness. Friends in Radio Land, holy greetings to you all. This is your radio pastor and friend, Reverend Simon Jones, inviting you to join me every Tuesday evening at 7:30 p.m. for the program, The Voice of Hope, as we extend hope to the hopeless in a dying world.
Vegam Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Vegam Printers, your best choice in printing.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats. Best.
welcome back to the Morning Connection. Your host, Minette Lawrence, with me, Pastor Percival Palmer. And in the house, I have not welcomed them or said good morning to them properly. The engineer and the producer sitting across from us, giving us inspiration and instructions as needed. But it's the teamwork that makes the dream work in the studio. There's a studio named DreamWorks.
Yes.
I can see why.
Very powerful.
Teamwork makes the dream work. So, good morning to all of you again. We're starting off this morning. We are going to do a few declarations over our nation, which is to say, we're making resolutions for Jamaica. That's really what it is. But as you would have seen yesterday, those of you who were with us, we are putting a foundation, laying a foundation. This now is, we're building on a rock. We're not being careless about it. So we're laying some well-needed foundation just to anchor the declarations that we make. The declarations, of course, need to be attainable, but they must be relevant and they must resonate with the hearts of those who are going to be part and parcel of the execution. Earlier, I just said that, in my own view, we have not demonstrated the capacity to execute well on the ground when it comes to the matter of our public health. The same comment would be attributable to how we deal with security, safety and security, certainly in the public spaces. So capacity, and you know what? Capacity is one of those things. Capacity is like honesty or integrity. It is indivisible. You can't have capacity for doing well on one thing but not on the other, because the same ingredients, the same muscles, the same instinct, it's the same recipe that you use for all things. So if you're not good in one area, chances are you won't be good in the other. Most likely, you won't be good in executing in the other. And I see where we have a capacity problem. We don't lack innovation, we don't lack skills, but the capacity, how would I best define capacity in this instance, Pastor?
The ability to get something done from start to finish. So you have the vision.
I'm taking it. I'm seeing it in a little greater than just mere ability, because I have the ability to walk, but I will not walk 10 miles.
That's what I'm saying.
10 miles. So capacity for me is stamina, endurance, and
Right.
space. The space in the heart and in the head to do it well, to be disciplined, to stay with it, and to get it done.
So
Those are the elements that
right. So when you said capacity,
considering.
I'm saying when you have the capacity, I mean from start to finish to get it done. So it would have those elements: stamina, durability, staying into the end in terms of patience, endurance.
Yeah.
So the thing is,
discipline.
I think some of us, like even as we are doing New Year's resolution and declaration, we have the capacity, we have the ability to get it done, to think about
to
it.
conceive of exactly what is
Right.
needed,
And
to
so on.
analyze and to say we need to do this, that. We can identify the 10 things that are critical, but
But-
then when it comes to
Carrying it to the end,
Taking
finishing,
it
being
to-
faithful to what you've started to
Right.
do. Because even in terms of the declaration, one of the things that comes to light is a whole thing of your faith and being faithful to the end. You start, and somebody in the song, it's already done. Finish well, brother. Finish.
yes.
So
that
with
is-
all of the
yeah.
distractions and the things that would come against you, you're gonna finish. That is the determination within your heart. I am going to finish what I have started. So even as we make declarations over our nation today, the thing is we are speaking a thing as if it is not there, but then we need to ensure that what we have spoken about becomes a reality in the life of the individual, in the life of our country. And so the whole thing of discipline, staying with it. This is what it is. That's how you build legacies,
Mhm.
That's how
Well, as you said on a previous occasion, those who are building legacies don't know that is legacy they're building.
but because
But
they have
at the
vision.
end, when you look back, you'll see that that is the level that that's what it required to accomplish it. Now, just before we took the break, you and I were making sure that when we speak of mountain, persons understood it in the right way.
Yeah.
And I was explaining that from my vantage point, the mountain which we spoke of yesterday, standing in the spirit of Caleb, is not a problem to be vanquished or cast into the sea, but it represents desirable real estate that you intend to possess. Now, there is, of course, a marked difference in the strategy that you would deploy for the mountain that is real estate and the mountain that is a problem. So it's very important, Pastor was saying to me in the break, it's very important that you understand what we mean by mountain, and that you are crafting your declarations or your resolutions in the right way. So, for example, let's be accurate now, because Kadesh Barnea is that valley in which the Israelites circled for 38 years. For 38 years. From Kadesh Barnea, they set out and were encamped by the Jordan riverbank to cross.
True.
And in Pastor's church home, they are at the same place that producer and I, we're each standing at the riverbank, but having got there through a different sequence of events, let's call it that. But we're all now of one accord. We're going to cross the river and enter the promised land.
Going in to possess it.
Right. So yesterday, Percy spoke about Caleb and the mountain, possessing the mountain. So we are using the Caleb spirit to look at the mountain. And what is the Caleb spirit? Caleb was one of 12 spies who had gone in to study the land and see the light and come back with a report. No.
Moses.
The first thing is that was a bad idea. Do we accept? It was a bad idea to go out and scope out the land as if your intelligence from that could overrule God's instruction to you that this is the land I have promised you and that's where you're going. So it's a good military idea in the natural world. Reconnaissance before a mission gives you useful intelligence in the natural world. But that is where you, the military leader, is depending entirely on your strategy and plans.
But it was, I don't know.
Hear me
go
out.
ahead. I'm listening.
Because I think later on Moses was censured for permitting it. So it's a good military move to go out and conduct your reconnaissance. But when you're moving in faith and you are following a prophetic instruction given, there is absolutely no need for you to run and scout out ahead to see if maybe God overlooked something, or if maybe there is some danger that you need extra preparation for, so you can come back and tell the people that listen, so and so. The result of that reconnaissance mission was to bring back fearful reports. The reports were not untrue. Let us be clear, they did not lie and say there are giants in the land and the place is not so good. It is true that there were giants in the lands, not so? There were challenges. Sometimes you don't need to be so informed on the challenges that lie ahead because you're conducting a walk of faith. May I just say that?
Hold on. You see?
Sometimes you don't. Do you want me to say it again?
Go ahead.
Sometimes you don't need to be so informed about the challenges that lie ahead when you are conducting a walk of faith.
Yeah, but in this instance.
Sometimes. Yes.
In this instance, it was the Lord that said to Moses, and I'm quoting from Numbers 13. The Lord said to Moses, send men to explore Canaan, which I'm giving to the Israelites. Send one leader from each of their ancestors' tribe. So the instruction to go was given by the Lord to Moses.
Thank you for that.
So at the Lord's command, Moses sent these men from the desert of Paran. All of them were leaders of the tribe. And then this is the account.
So the problem is when they came back.
Yeah, the
with-
problem, yes,
with-
because
with
it says...
the
because,
tales of terror.
Yeah, because the interesting thing was, we talk about vision. And yesterday we spoke about vision board. It's so important, I think. Without a vision, people perish. And write the vision, make it clear, because it is for the appointed time. I see vision as something that pulls you forward into your destiny. So the Lord said to him, all right, go. But they came back with a bad report. They weren't believing what God said.
That was the absence of faith.
They never God sent them, and he says, go. I want it. And it's instructive that he says, take one
from each tribe, hence the 12.
Yeah. And so in terms of what comes back in terms of a bad report, if God has said something prophetically to us, he has gone to the end and come back to where we are at and says, now let us journey together. So he's speaking on what he knows. And in terms of faith, important.
So that's where the lack of faith is manifest. When God has given an instruction
and he says,
you pull a bad report out of it.
Yeah,
there can be no bad report.
So that's important that we recognize if God has said something and he's deposited something in your spirit, because that's where it begins.
It's a very interesting point you're making, because it points to the perspective you take on whatever you feel that God has led you to do. To not see the challenges, but to see the land you desire to possess. And to know that if he has pointed you at it, it means it is attainable. And therefore...
And he knows what he has placed in you.
Therefore those giants are...
They're going to come. They're going to come.
Yeah.
But he says, because I know what it is that I have said, because I've seen it, I want you to journey with me. And each time you in this journey, you have to walk in faith, because
and you
faith,
have to rely on me. Have you noticed?
Yeah.
Have you noticed that all the things, the truly desirable things, you can't get to them without a partnership of faith?
Yeah, you can't, because the truth is...
You have to go back to him for sustenance, encouragement,
and
guidance, something.
And one of the things I've discovered, even in terms of my walk, if God has said something, like I told you about 207, when the Lord just says, okay, I want you to move. No, that was like in 1995 when he said, I want you to. When he said to me, yes, it's such a long time, and he says, it was like he dropped something and says, you see this World Cup of cricket? I want you to mobilize the Caribbean church to use it as an outreach moment. I said, no, I really asked him, and the way how he connected, or I guess this man is one of the persons he connected me to. So I went to Ghana, every place in the Caribbean and others where there was going to be matches played. The Lord allowed me to visit and to speak to the church community.
Yeah. So did you finance that yourself? How did that get underway?
It's the Lord, sister, because I'm in ministry.
Where were you at the time? You were in ministry?
I was in ministry.
Fellowship Tabernacle?
Yeah, in whole life. And so he connected people in Guyana, Barbados.
This is World Cup cricket from that long
Yes, World Cup cricket.
Ago.
And the Lord says use the opportunity, and amazing in terms of we mobilize people in Jamaica.
That was your mountain to possess, to use the church families in all of the participating countries for World Cup cricket. Use the church family there as a host to provide
hope. We call it hope. It was hospitality, outreach, prayer, engagement. So you had different things that spilled out of that experience. Like in Jamaica, we mobilized the church just to go out to clean up the city, paint, that kind of thing. Other people did things. We produced different things. And I'm saying,
and on the hospitality side of it, what did you
if people wanted to visit, were coming from countries and couldn't afford it, we were able to mobilize them to stay in homes.
So bed and breakfast.
Yes, that kind of thing. So we're ahead of the game in terms of Yes, it was amazing.
And this is 2007.
Seven, yeah.
How many persons you touched in the entire program?
Boy,
I
don't know. I don't know. I
No
really don't know.
calculation done.
I don't know. If I go back to the records, I could see it, but it was just amazing.
But every team that went to all the countries, what countries participated in it?
You had a woman,
Jamaica, Guyana. Those two.
Jamaica, Guyana, Barbados, Antigua, St. Kitts, and even I'm trying to remember the countries that they were host games.
No need to drop the mic at this
point. Yes, you know. But it was amazing in terms of, he said it, and he spoke it. I said, But along the way, he provided resources for me to travel.
So did you go to like Sri Lanka and India?
No, we didn't, because they came to us.
Oh.
They came to us.
Okay.
But we were interacting, and then the community in churches from Australia, I remember we hosted an Australian team. So it was amazing.
All right. So no, that was your mountain, and you certainly possessed it.
Yes.
What were the giants?
The first thing is we speak about insularity in between the countries. That would have been, what is this person from Jamaica coming to tell us what to do in Barbados and thing. But one of the things that pulled us together was also the vision of what God was seeking to do. Because remember, cricket is played, I think, in terms of the populations, because you have India.
Everywhere that the British colonized play cricket.
And even countries that they never colonized are playing cricket now. So in terms of the reach, it's beyond. It never seeks to do. Yeah, that's true.
The producer doesn't have a mic, but he's saying something. What is he saying?
But what he does this true, that's correct, my brother. What he
did
does.
He say?
Not what he's seeking to do, is what he does.
Oh, I see.
He was correcting my language.
Capacity.
Yes.
Say capacity. Yes.
What he does, But
capacity.
But in terms of and some of those people remain my friend up until today.
And you're very kindly recruited one to speak to us later this morning.
Yeah.
This is half of the interview with Pastor.
That was amazing.
We're sneaking it in. But, we talk about the giants. I'm going to assume that working through the church community gave you some allies, but did it have problems too?
Oh, wow.
It did become one of the giants.
Tell me about it.
No, you're to tell me about it.
In the sense that, whether we like it or not, even in business, as human beings, we can be very territorial.
Mm-hmm. So you say, even in the love of God.
Yeah, we can become so territorial. Who are you?
Yeah.
But I was so glad that people saw beyond that and said, this is what we're trying to do. It is for the greater glory of God. And that was amazing in terms of persons just all over the Caribbean, Guyana, Antigua, people I'd never known before.
It is a fine example of how God works.
Mm-hmm.
And he is unchanging in all his ways. So if you're listening and you have an idea that you want to make into a regional event, you align yourself with something of God.
Yeah.
As the tip of the spear to break open.
That is it.
To break open that door.
Yeah.
You were using cricket.
Yeah.
As part the vehicle, but it was really to bring glory to God.
Yeah.
All right. That's a critical, a very important part of how we look at the declarations that are required for our nation. And I say that because, I'm going to give you one. Out of Psalm chapter 2, verse 1, there is the question posed. Well, the King James Version say, why do the heathens rage and the people imagine a vain thing?
Yes.
It's just so poetic. But in more modern language, it's why do nations conspire and people plot in vain? It's a question that has been posed many times in this pandemic, which some people call a plandemic. And there are many theories about the One World Alliance, the movement towards the mark of the beast, who really control things. Are we being herded into a lake of fire. I'm just
the
kind
word,
of,
that's why you're just
I'm
trying
just
it out there.
shortcutting it.
Yeah, man.
Yes, because everything leads to the destruction of wicked man in a lake of fire. So a lot of theories are being floated, even in this business of the reopening of school in Jamaica. And, you know, for those who were calling for it, now it seems the government says, okay, here it is. Then why are you giving it to us? Have you no heart for the public health? It's the people are always imagining a vain thing. And there are always, you know, different theories about conspiracy. So when you set your sights on the mountain, and if you, whether it is a personal
Somebody would say, go with
accomplishment
God.
or- there you go.
Go with God.
Take that to the finish for me.
Go with God in whatever you're doing. If God has said something to you, one of the things I've recognized over time, you just may think that what you're doing is insignificant. But the God that you serve is a God who knows all the different, he knows all of the different parts of the puzzle. So what he calls you to do, if something is a passion, something that you think you are called to do, like serving the poor, working with children, whatever it is, that's your mountain. Go with God. He plants that in your heart because he is the master architect, bringing all the pieces, together.
And all your partners are already
there.
They already exist. You just need to find them.
Yeah.
So I wanted to, because you had brought up Caleb, and I thank you for going back to Numbers. There are some things that man do that we have done in the effort to help ourselves, which turn out to be bad ideas. The 12 spies, as you have correctly pointed out, was not one of them, but there have been other things that we've done, like when we try to forge, you try to forge a military alliance to secure yourself from attack, and it turns out that you really should have just trusted God.
Trust God, and
Right.
that is recounted as a principle
That is precisely
over and over
Right.
again
Yeah.
in scripture.
To be careful, you know, the kind of self-help techniques that we employ, because some of them really reflect a lack of faith. And that's one of the things that I wanted to emphasize, that as you set your sights on the mountain, just be wise in the strategies that you employ, because if it is, and you must know how to get confirmation with the inner man, the spirit man, on what it is that is the mountain for you, because sometimes you set your eyes on somebody else's mountain.
I know for you, that is
It's
so.
not your mountain.
No, that is important. There's nothing wrong in helping somebody with a vision to come together and help them. But if God has placed something in your heart for you to do, guess what's going to happen at the end? He's going to hold you.
Percy, or Percy say, I was busy helping Minette.
Yeah, but it's
with her
important.
mountain.
It's important that we understand and
Yeah.
it be clear, becomes clear in our minds as individuals. The thing about purpose, understanding your purpose, what it is you have got. People ask me all the time, what's your purpose? I'm saying it's just to facilitating individuals to greatness. Argument none. So whatever I need to do to ensure that somebody understands what is in them and help to pull it out and move them along.
So you're a wife.
Yes. If you want to put it
You're
that
a
way.
helpmate.
Whatever you want to call it, sister, I am a
To
facilitator.
help facilitate people to greatness.
That's what it
That
is.
what you-
That's why I engage in mentorship.
Yeah.
Because some of the times you interact and they don't see it, but God puts you in their life to call it out and say, come on, move on. It's there already. And to facilitate them, to point them to where they need to go.
So do you ever, and that's the life of a teacher as well, that you take and nurture your students, and then you watch your student become prime minister or, you know, major billionaire corporate giant or whatever it is that great students go on to become. I often wonder, and you can tell me, do you ever, what is it you feel when you see your student or your mentee or someone whom you have coached to greatness? What do you feel? And maybe an example or two. Pastor doesn't know this, but he's being interviewed. That's sotto voce for the listeners. Carry on.
You feel very good. You feel very good about it. And then the questions are asked to ensure that you understand what is your motivation for doing things. Is the motivation about helping the person. It is about you going and saying, "Oh, I did this." You know, the whole question of pride and thing. But I feel good when you see persons and you remember how they were, and then
When you found them.
yeah, and then you encourage them and you see where they go. You say, "Yeah."
Without naming names, the most memorable, maybe if you were to rank it, the greatest person whose life you have touched and you watch them shine with that. No names required, but give me a for example. Okay, the middle one.
I'm just
Think about it. We're going to take the break and come back to our interview with Percival Palmer, pastor extraordinaire and co-host of the Morning Connection.
We'll be right back.
Year in Review 2021. Recovering stronger together.
Greater protection for Jamaican brands internationally, increased funding support for small businesses, and the Export Max program continues to transform beneficiaries. Journey with us for the next 5 minutes as we recap the year that was for the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce. Increasing access to financing was one of the major hurdles the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce sought to tackle during 2021. First up was the passage of the Microcredit Act to regulate and license financial entities in that sector, which are the main source of funding for small businesses. The ministry conducted a series of sensitization sessions to educate stakeholders about the act. Next on the list is the new $675 million loan facility launched by the ministry in partnership with the Exim Bank and JN Small Business Loans. Business support services was also offered to MSME owners through the Jamaica Business Development Corporation, JBDC.
This loan is for 5 years with a 1-year moratorium that allows a company to really get their foot steady and stable. And the great thing about this is that because they have the support services and the monitoring parameters, then they are almost assured if they follow all of the requirements and the steps that their business will succeed.
Minister of State Dr. Norman Dunn. From financing, we move to accreditation, as the Jamaica National Agency for Accreditation launched a pre-accreditation approval program to fast-track the assessment of COVID-19 testing facilities. Chief Executive Officer of JANAC, Sharon May Shirley, says certification will ensure results are accurate and consistent with international standards.
And this, of course, will reduce the opportunities for those persons who would want to provide this test without the requisite approval.
Meanwhile, the Bureau of Standards Jamaica launched a client service program to offer business consultation services to micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises (MSME) free of cost. Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce Audley Shaw endorsed the initiative, adding that it's part of a strategic move to strengthen the MSME sector and enable more business owners to formalize their operations.
The types of intervention provided by the CSP include standards awareness, interpretation, and implementation, market access requirements, regulatory compliance, accreditation, and certification requirements, and referrals to other business service organizations.
From standards, we move to consumer protection. The Consumer Affairs Commission, CAC, secured over $14 million in refunds and compensation for aggrieved consumers during the year. CAC Legal Officer Sachagay Russell reiterated the importance of consumers filing a complaint with the agency whenever they have a dispute with vendors.
We want consumers to know that instead of putting the matter before the parish court or the Supreme Court, the Consumer Protection Tribunal is there as an additional avenue for their claim to be heard by an independent panel and then for a ruling to be given by that panel.
Jamaican manufacturers and exporters now have greater protection on the international market, following the government's adoption of the Madrid Protocol locally. The move allows local business owners to register their trademark with the Jamaica Intellectual Property Office, JIPO, and receive worldwide protection.
This will bring immediate benefit of market access, better speed to market, protection against brand abuse, and lower cost of registration to not only companies in the manufacturing and export sectors, but also to persons in the creative industry, or sport persons, or musicians, agricultural sector.
President of the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association, Richard Pandoi. The Jamaica Business Development Corporation, JBDC, partnered with the United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, on a project to evaluate Jamaica's cultural and creative industries. Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Audley Shaw, announced that the government and the private sector were in discussions on several initiatives to support the local creative industry. The work continues in 2022 as the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce play its part in helping Jamaica recover stronger together.
A production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
The station that makes you feel good.
I love this station. I think it's great.
My station.
Moving.
My station.
Moving. Keep it right here. Keep it right here.
Best FM, keep listening.
The Go Loud Cash Call is live and 50K is on the line. Tune in to Best FM Tuesday, January 4 and Friday, January 7, 2022 to listen to live calls. Who knows? It could be your lucky number. Must be using the Go Loud app and a digital customer to qualify. Go Loud, simply more radio and podcast. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting Game.
Live the life. Respect the music. And keep your radio locked in.
Best 100 FM.
Close a long day on a Tuesday afternoon with a great company. While you're heading home, stuck in traffic, or on your way to work. Yes! When life throws you Tuesday, turn up and let it be a Tuesday. And choose On the Air with Tashika Lou, your one-stop, entertaining, inspiring late afternoon show with friendly conversations, song requests, positive affirmation, learn something to improve your health, and submission box when you, my listeners, share your relationship problems.
Hold on. What you just said? You're engaged this man for 5 years and I know him can't marry you? Is that prank?
Not Jordan. Tuesdays from 5 to 7 p.m. right here on Best 100 FM, the station that is heard everywhere.
Who's ready to answer the Go Loud Cash Call? Here's your chance to be one of 4 winners of 50,000 weekly. Just answer the Go Loud Cash Call with the phrase
Simply More Radio and Podcast.
And the money is yours. Tune into Best FM Tuesday, January 4 and Friday, January 7, 2022 to listen to live calls. Go Loud, Simply More Radio and Podcast. Text 402 to 137 for more information. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
The station that rules the
Tune in to Best 100 FM. Join me, your host, Minute Lawrence, on the Morning Connection, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. every Monday to Thursday. Get ready.
You're simply the best. Better than all the rest. Better than anyone. Anyone I ever met. I'm stuck on your...
Veg Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Veg Printers, your best choice in printing.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Welcome back to the Morning Connection. With me is my guest. Pastor Percy. Pastor Percy is our guest this morning. I'm pulling a little bit out of my co-host because, let me tell you, he might not look like a mountain climber, but he has climbed a few mountains and possessed them with excellence. And so, because he has, he's teaching us about the Caleb Mountain. For me, I told you about following the ark, which is your instruction to get to the mountain. But even as you fill your heart with desire for this mountain, I was just sharing with Pastor one or two mountains from his past. His past is littered with mountains. And just before the break, I had asked him to just give me an example of one person, because he's a wife. It was find a way to define that. He is a helpmate, a person who is set to coach and mentor and pray and facilitate and build and pull greatness out of those who are sent to him. I suspect, and as I say it now in a moment of revelation, that he is one person set to pull some greatness out of me. Yeah, I may think I'm pulling greatness out of him, which I am also. But I suspect that he is set to pull something a little bit more out of me in how we are sharing. So, of course, I am asking him to give me an idea. And as it turns out, just to shape your expectations, one of the great accomplishments, somebody that some achievement he can look at with pride. It's not so much an individual, but the output of the individuals, and that's what we're going to talk about, because sometimes you're drawn to the person to help build the person, but the real purpose is what that person can produce, the contribution that person.
To see.
You're a midwife. Oh, you're a wife, a midwife. All right, go on.
One of the stints I have served on secondment from Whole Life, I served as General Secretary for the student movement, which is Students Christian Fellowship.
And you go way back. That's for university days?
No. That is in recent times.
Oh, yes, Whole Life.
Whole Life, yeah. So they asked me to serve as their General Secretary, which means I was the administrative help for...
Like the General Secretary of the UN, of the United Nations.
I don't
I like that.
But we have existed for a very long time. 1948. Students Christian Fellowship and Scripture. So it incorporates university and colleges Christian Fellowship, and everybody know ICF within high school. Right. And one of the things which I try to engender to the students then, and some people would call me and say, you remember that we'd have conferences, training, the movements in their school. And I said to them, you are not a student who is a Christian, you are a Christian student. And somebody said, you remember you to tell us that. So your Christianity is what defines who you are. You're not a student, then a Christian. So it has always been my thing to say to people, you're not just student and you believe that on the side. It must be the principles that guide your whole existence. So you're a Christian doctor, a Christian lawyer, and what it means, even in terms of practice, that those principles must drive what you do, how you relate to others.
So it's really a question of identity, and we say know yourself. And even as Jamaica struggles with issues of identity, you were teaching from an early age that the thing that is permanent about you is what drives your action. Yeah. You won't always be a student. One day you'll be something else. So you can't start with where you are. You've got to
where's your
focus
identity? What
the
is
true
that?
identity. Your identity is the thing about you that will not change. Right. Like, I'm a black woman. To the day I die, that will never change.
True.
So, I get your point. And
so therefore, in terms of interacting with people, I'm saying to them, and I've interacted with different people. People are Christians. People are along the path to doing that. To a way of encouraging them and say, you see this thing about your mind? And what it is your mind is the most powerful.
Yet, and I see that your mind is distracting you. Please stay on point.
Your mind is the most powerful thing. So even in terms
Years
of person.
ago, you met a young Christian woman who had dreams of business.
Yes. And
take it from there.
And I walked with her, encouraged her, and then she was married then, but her husband was not a believer. And so with her, then I met him, and the encouragement allowed them, and they have birthed something that is so powerful and wonderful in this country. And she comes back to me and always reminds me of what you did then for us in terms of helping to stabilize our faith and walking with us and encouraging us. And some of the times even just issuing words of encouragement. People would say prophesy or a prophetic word that you would speak. So they said to me, even in terms of their organization, you know, you are the pastor of this business and so on. So I thank God for what he has done. And that person now says, this is what drives me, but seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. And all these is being added onto you, you know. So it's powerful in terms.
And it's where we are starting kind of with the first set of declarations that we want to make over the nation. If we are going to possess the various mountains in the different spheres that we are looking at, economy, security, health, education, justice,
entertainment,
any of the sectors,
the
whatever
mountains
you
in our
can,
country.
those mountains that you want to possess. And Jamaica have plenty delightful mountains, all to be possessed. We have to start with the right focal point, and
Seek
it
ye
is
first.
seek ye first the kingdom of God.
And what the kingdom principles represent.
Yeah.
It is a kingdom of faith. It's a kingdom that is rooted in love. That is why I say to people all the time, seek to obey God. Seek to obey God. That's all he requires of you. And if you obey God, then you become a person of faith. And another scripture says the only thing that counts is faith operating through love. And if love is what is your guiding principle, a lot of the stuff that we see happening around us, we begin to change it. Because the change begins with Minette and Percival, how we interact and relate to each other. And then that has a snowball effect in terms of affecting the persons we interact with in our family, in our community, in the nation. But that's what we need to do. So we're going to make some declaration in terms of what we want to see happening in our nation. Yeah.
All right. I'm taking you to Micah chapter 2, verse 13. I'm going to read the scripture because this now is about strategy. And I just want to have a conversation with you on that. The prophet Michael, under prophetic inspiration, says, the one who breaks open the way will go up before them. They will break through the gate and go out. Their king will pass through before them, the Lord at their head.
Crucial.
That is kind of like a whole essay on what we're talking about.
Breaker anointing.
The breaker anointing, you called it. So, have you ever been the one who breaks open the way?
You mean for persons and individuals? Yeah, but I do it with the inspiration and instructions that the Lord gives me in the situation. I tell you, some of the times it blows my mind. I was reflecting on it with my wife on Sunday, and I was saying, you know, some of the things I do, I don't know why I do it, but I've learned to be obedient, even in terms of my walk and moving from corporate into ministry. I was ridiculed. People laugh after me. People say, you don't have nothing. You just get married.
How many years were you in corporate? Because when you left university, you went into
corporate. So from 88 to 95. And I worked with different
7 years.
Yeah, different corporate organizations. The first one was at Sugar, then with manufacturing, then with manufacturing, and so on. But I've had opportunities.
Did you like it? Did you find it a fertile place for ministry?
Yeah, it was, but there's a greater call. I think for me personally, it was preparation for what I'm doing now, because all of the experiences that I had then are helping me now in terms of working with people in different sectors and understanding how it works in Jamaica and behind the scenes, so I can properly instruct and guide people who come to me in terms of what they need to do.
So you had the 7-year itch.
I don't know if it was a 7-year itch. The last job was with a multinational. And I remember when I took up that job, because I was the warehousing and distribution manager with responsibility for security and customer service. Just tag them on as they go. And he said to me, when I hit the first day, he says, look at this balance sheet. See that? And he was talking about the warehousing. Then it was about, at the end, $2 million they couldn't account for. I said, you fix that. You fix that. And one of the principles that I've always operated with is order. So when there's order, you can
find things.
You can
see
find things. You can see things.
Anything that's out of place is immediately
And just
visible.
doing that, which is how God operates. In the beginning, it says it was without form, and it was. It said it in order. So, and that was very, very interesting. So when I was leaving, he got me and said, "You're bad." That's what he said. Crazy.
So really, God said, "Get up and go," as He said to Abraham.
Yeah. And I got up and go, but I was recently married. So that is why you joking talk about help meet my wife. I heard it, but we operate on a principle of agreement. And we were talking one day, we have what we call bedroom conference. We just sit on the bed and chat. Reason.
You know, that's okay. Other married people might have a different conference.
Yeah, I know that. But that's all right.
Us does bedroom conference. So,
yes.
All right.
So
sit on the bed and chat.
And we chatting. And I knew what he had said. And it kind of prepared me in terms of hear things distinctly.
By the way, that's a good title for your book.
What?
Bedroom conference. I was passing through the airport one year and I saw a beautifully covered hardcover book in red, just delicious red. And the title of the book was The Lady, Her Lover, and Her Lord. I bought that book without even reading the back. You know what it was?
Yeah, man, it was
TD Jakes.
TD Jakes. Woman, they were loose. And they're famous.
The Lady, Her Lover, and Her Lord. I thought, well, this looks like a good,
it's a good read.
Victorian era romance novel.
Yeah.
It was not. I think I still have it. Took me about a year to read it.
Yeah, but
I was too disappointed.
Yeah, but
so you could do bedroom conferences. You'll get a few people buying it, thinking it is something else.
But what happened? And she agreed. I heard it, and then she confirmed it, and we just moved.
Launched.
Yeah.
So at this point now, you're gone into full-time ministry. So did you get a job as a pastor? What does it mean to go into full-time ministry? You're really unemployed.
Unemployed, but I joined an organization which is Whole Life, and it resulted in a.
So you were getting a paycheck.
A paycheck, yeah.
But nothing like the corporate paycheck.
Nothing like that. But God has been faithful. But what I'm saying is
sacrifice, man. That is a lesson. So at another stage, I want us to talk about the importance of sacrifice. Now, in the old days, it was blood sacrifice, and that might have been trying to creep back in the new days too. But
I know it.
It is. But sacrifice is an important part of executing on your declaration and getting to a successful claiming the mountain. There has to be something of value laid on the altar.
Right.
Which is, once you say sacrifice, you know the components. There is something of value. There's an altar. There's a commitment of some sort. So you made a sacrifice. You gave up the corporate paycheck and you went into full-time ministry.
And it has been very, very, very
And you're
rewarding.
still married to the same woman.
Yes, same woman.
Yeah, so the sacrifice has...
Yeah, so, but she has been great, understanding, wonderful, loving. You met her.
I've met her, yes.
You met her. And, but that, if she said no, I could not have moved. I tell people that in terms of, even if I...
What would that no have represented to you? Because you said she confirmed it. That was confirmation for you.
Without me prompting her.
Right. What would that no have meant? Lack of confirmation or disobedience to God?
It would have meant lack of confirmation, or no, the time was not right. Because we walk together in unity in spirit. So if God is saying something to me, it's all prophecy. He might tell you to. Like people, we have this joke some other time. You go to the woman and say, "You are my wife." She said, "Well, God never tell me." So God has to tell me that. But I've seen that happen.
Is that how it's working in church these days?
Yes.
Just go pick a wife.
No, you listen to say that your thing, and you say no.
The Lord has sent me to you, sister. And she said,
some of the time or the other way, the lady said to the man,
"Brother,
Yeah, but we joke about it, but these things
Confirmation
happen.
is a
It's
critical
crucial
part.
because it's about agreement. If two or more can agree touching anything, it is about agreement.
We
So
talked
if
about
as
the
you
power of unity.
yeah, so even as you go to possess your mountain, you have to have people come in agreement because it is a part of a community. Because Caleb could not have gone up by himself. He was at the front of it, but there are people who were to come with him to help him to conquer his mountain. So we speak about community, the importance of community in terms of going after your mountain.
Right. So let's just pull a little. This is a teachable moment, I think. What is critical as we set the declarations and go about formulating the plan? If you are a married person seeking to claim your mountain, just understand that it would never be in the will of God for you to strike out and abandon the wife of your youth. So it does require that agreement. And it may be that one person either hasn't got the revelation yet, and so a part of your responsibility is to wait and to kind of get your partner along. It don't mean now you have to divorce because that mountain is yours. The Lord said it is yours, but the partner, the wife he gave you, the woman you gave me is not playing along with me. So there's that need for patience and unity.
And unity and vision. Because if you don't cast it,
the other thing that's important, and I don't want to miss, is that's why I brought up the breaker anointing, as you have phrased it. There are some mountains that are yours to possess, but you do need what elsewhere I hear people call destiny partners. Persons who are destined to be on your team to execute what needs to be done. So it's a very critical part when you see the mountain for you to build the team or the community. Pastor referred to it as community. The one who breaks open the way will go up before them. So you cannot be setting out to conquer that mountain before the one who breaks the way has set out. You found him, you know him, you identify him. Of course, in all this, the great breaker of the way is, as you know, your God, your creator, who set your heart towards the thing anyway. So you don't move until you are submitted to the kind of divine guidance that is required. I do want to talk about covenant.
That's an important thing.
I have each person, when you are serious about taking your mountain, you establish a covenant. And you can invite God into covenant with you.
Yes, you do.
I mean, he has a part of his covenant is that he's open for sub-covenants. Let's put it that way. Part of his covenant, the covenant that he established with Noah, and he's the rainbow in the sky as the reminder, can always invite God into a covenant with you concerning the mountain you wish to possess. Can you recall? Because I'm sure you make covenants along the way.
I remember this as a student, and it happened right after we had the famous
March on the Authority.
And because I've always, most times, been in leadership, I was then mission secretary at the University of the West Indies. And the way they do it, they know in terms of succession planning what's going to happen, who's going to be the next leader. So I was going to become the president of UCCF, which then was the biggest student on campus. We are part of a national body, which is you have the national chairman, and then you have an elected executive who run the affairs of all the things with autonomy.
So you've been a politician for a long time.
Yep.
We get it.
But what happened? The person who was designated to have become the national chairman, and I would have stepped into being president. So we went and we talking, and he decides at the point in time, not going
to be national chairman now.
So the then national chairman, who is one of my mentors and thing, comes to me and said, "Well, you are the ramp card in the ticket." I'm going, Not having it, not having it.
So you were not to jump over the local and step into the national position.
Yeah. And I went outside and I said, Father, I never planned for this still, you know. But in sitting outside, it's like I saw a river running with stones. Like I just saw that. Yeah. And he says, will you trust me as a river that is flowing? Because he says when the river flows to the stones, if you step in there, there's a certain body of water that runs around your feet. Mm-hmm. That go on, that it will not come back. So will you enter into agreement with the covenant that I will go ahead of you in terms of it? And that was, I made the decision.
That vision had meaning.
Yeah. And so I just stepped in and covenanted with God that I would lead and just
from a national platform now.
Yeah, to just do what he calls me to do. And that has now become modus of operation. Learning to obey in the instant because you are in agreement with this God who knows everything.
All right, we're going to take our break now. When we return, we're not going to talk to Percy anymore like this. We're going to talk to Percy's friend. Errol Griffiths of Barbados is going to share just some insights on what's happening in Barbados. One of the declarations you will see when we come to them is of regional significance. Jamaica surviving by herself is great, but the region surviving with Jamaica's hefty contribution. Jamaica needs to be the breaker of the way for the region. So let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And please don't say let's fix ourselves first. We have to do it concurrently. Yeah. We are the stream that is running and cleansing and revitalizing and taking care of ourselves even while we do so much more. So yes, we're starting to open up the conversation to some voices other than our own. So please brace yourself. You're going to have a Barbadian accent on the line in a short while. We're going to invite Errol to just speak with us and see really how much alike we are or how different. And is there something they're doing that we could do or something we're doing that they could do? Stay with us, please. We will be right back.
We'll be right back.
Half a tree, one and drive, half a tree. Bossy, how we do I take taxi start?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and I check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? Yeah, waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
Wow, you big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
Yeah, try and call him, cause trust me.
Winters Auto Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
What a relief.
The Go Loud Cash Call is live and 50K is on the line. Tune in to Best FM Tuesday, January 4 and Friday, January 7, 2022 to listen to live calls. Who knows? It could be your lucky number. Must be using the Go Loud app and a Digicel customer to qualify. Go Loud, simply more radio and podcast. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting
For
Union
a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-382-528 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales for a better choice.
The station that makes you feel good.
I love the station. I think it's great.
My station.
Moving.
My station.
Moving. Keep it.
Him, praise him. And no name of jive, it time me up. And no name of jive, it mix me up. So them evil, so them lie. so them to rough. Scheming and them planning, but we not before. Jehovah and they want where you hold me up. In the Father we put
Watch this.
Dun Jaja they done with the name Dun Jaja super cat him come and then them do it dun dada. They done shit they are. Dun mama, wicked and evil Jack come for slaughter. Cool way in the way and they want to scripture.
Live the life. Respect the music. And keep your radio locked in.
Best 100 FM.
Who's ready to answer the Go Loud Cash Call? Here's your chance to be one of 4 winners of 50,000 weekly. Just answer the Go Loud Cash Call with the phrase
Simply More Radio and Podcast.
and the money is yours. Tune into Best FM Tuesday, January 4 and Friday, January 7, 2022 to listen to live calls. Go Loud, Simply More Radio and Podcast. Text 402 to 137 for more information. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
Veg Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Veg Printers, your best choice in printing.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Good morning and welcome back to the Morning Connection. We have Errol Griffith on the line. I don't want to keep him. Mr. Griffiths?
Hey, morning, and no S on my Griffiths, okay?
No, don't. This is not part of the Be Fruitful and Multiply. You're just one Griffith.
I know you Jamaicans put S on Griffiths,
Oh,
but here
yes,
in Barbados,
we are.
most of us have no S.
Oh, that's interesting.
They lost the S across the sea. All right, Errol Griffith.
Or since we were the first stop for the slave ships, I think the S was added across the sea.
Yes, that is entirely possible. That is entirely possible. Yeah, we are people that like to multiply. But welcome to the Morning Connection. Thank you very much. I know Barbados is an hour ahead of us, so you may have had breakfast. We're not keeping you from. What is the traditional Barbadian breakfast?
Traditional Barbadian breakfast, that could be a number of things. I don't think we have the tradition the same way that you have it in Jamaica.
I know.
Yeah, so really and truly, it can be whatever people want. I mean, but if you talk traditional, some people like to have like Bajan fish cakes, which is a batter with saltfish in it, codfish in it.
We call it
you may
fritters.
consider that traditional, eggs, traditional, etc.
So no bakes or that's Trinidad.
We used to have bakes, but I don't think that the bakes are as
popular
and as done as they were in the past. Like when my parents were growing up.
Well, apparently I was in Barbados when your parents were growing up.
Well, sorry, repeat that away. I missed that one.
Apparently I was studying in Barbados when your parents were growing up. I do remember bakes.
No. Not as many people do bakes as before.
God. All right,
But for sure, the fish cakes are popular.
All right. Well, just so people don't think that I'm more ancient than I actually am, let us talk a little bit about you. Before you went into the ministry that you now have, you occupied some pretty senior positions in the Barbadian, I would say, corporate and public sector. I'm going to rely on you to just say it. I know I have it, but you did work with how do you pronounce it? Ecolab or Ecolab?
Ecolab.
Yeah, because and that brought you to Jamaica. So I want persons to know that you're not just a Bajan, you're a Bajan Jamaican.
And I love Jamaica. I really enjoyed my time in Jamaica.
Yes,
honestly.
I hear that you took one of our ladies with you.
No, that's a mix. That's a mix-up.
You're not in the
I've
mix-up
had two
on
marriages.
blender.
What's that, Percival?
I said you're not in the mix-up on blender, as we say in Jamaica.
I've had two marriages and I've moved to Barbadians.
Okay.
Okay. We were trying to steal your second wife. Oh my God.
And she's a bit of a Caribbean person because she lived in different Caribbean islands. Her dad worked with Barclays. So she ended up, because he was moved from island to island after 3 years. So she's really a Caribbean person, but she never lived in Jamaica.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you mean when you said that's a mix-up. I will not.
Am I allowed to say this?
No, you are.
I hope I am.
You are allowed to
when
say
I was in Jamaica, pardon?
You are allowed to say that.
Okay, well, what I'm going to say is that when I was in Jamaica, actually the Jamaican accent is my favorite accent in the world, okay? And I used to jokingly say, which I no longer say, just be clear about that. Yeah. But I would love to be able to wake up every morning and hear a Jamaican accent on my pillow.
I'm happy that you no longer say it.
You call that saved. Yes.
Saved by grace.
Saved by God, His mercy.
Yeah, it is. I thank you for speaking to us, because we're going to pry into your Bajan business.
Sure, man. Go ahead.
And just for the listeners to understand, you have worked in tourism, and tourism is still the lifeblood of Jamaica, so you can relate to us. You're an accountant by professional trading. You've worked as an auditor, so you certainly know how to track a dollar. And you've worked in the corporate sector. You are now doing something very interesting. How would you describe it? Pastor just told us about his call to service. You were called to service too.
If you permit me to go back a couple of years. When I was in Jamaica, I came as someone in 95 who had not, in 94 actually, into Jamaica as someone who had not believed in God for 19 years. Although church and Sunday school were compulsory to 18 and 21 in my household once we were under our parents' care. That's what they said from young. And when they didn't allow me to play cricket on a Sunday at 12, and cricket was my favorite sport, my rebellion was, you can make me go to church, but you can't, and Sunday school, but you can't make me believe. And I held on to that childhood stubbornness for 20 years. Lost my former marriage when I was in Jamaica, 95. And something that I'd learned at 13 years old saved me, which I now dedicate my life to teaching, which was the only person in the world I can control is me. I cannot control anyone or anything outside of me. And at 13, I'd made a commitment to being happy for the rest of my life because I have control of me on the inside, not the body, but of the inside. And so that's actually what led to me having all these phenomenal work and opportunities and study opportunities because of how people perceive my spirit and attitude. It wasn't so much about my experience or my qualifications. And so after the pain in my former marriage lasted 11 hours.
You clocked it?
Pardon?
You clocked it? You had a timer on it?
Actually, the thing about it was that when my former wife told me what she told me on Sunday, April the 30th, 1995, I felt a pain that I'd never felt in my life before. And because I'd learned how to be happy from a teenager. So everything in life that I could not control, I'd programmed and taught myself how to just accept and make the most of it. But that night, I did not do that. I focused on what I thought was wrong with her. And I got back onto BB 414 the next morning. If you ever got problems, catch BB 414.
It's a good
I got on BB 414. Pardon?
It's a good distraction.
On the 1st of May, 1995. And a voice in my head, which I now know was the Holy Spirit, but then I didn't believe in God or Holy Spirit, so I thought it was me, told me, I thought you said that whatever you face in life, you will choose to accept, that whatever you can't control, and make the most of it. And it took me through a process on that flight, cutting the story short, of helping me to see my pain was my choice. My pain wasn't because of what my wife chose to do, it's about how I chose to respond to it in my mind. And then the voice told me, well, now that I take myself off my wife and my marriage and what I cannot control, focus my mind on me and what I could control. By the time I got off that BB 414 on the 1st of May 1995 at Manly International Airport, all my pain was gone. and I was stunned. You mean this thing that I learned at 13 could actually help me through the biggest big rock I'd ever faced? And so lots of my friends thought I was pretending, including my friends in Jamaica, like Chris. You may know Chris Williams from Proven.
Yes.
Chris was at school with me in Canada. In fact, I'd be mischievous. I helped teach Chris a number of courses that he was having trouble in. But anyhow, that's mischievous, okay?
No, don't worry.
But
It's recorded here. I'll send him a copy of the interview.
Good. Do that for me, please.
I will do that for you.
And we were really, really good friends.
Yeah.
Spent a lot of time with Chris and Huntley Watson. But Huntley, unfortunately, died 2 years ago.
Yes.
But however, they can understand how I could deal with what I faced, the way that I was facing it. And a lot of people thought I was pretending. And so a good buddy who had gone to primary school and secondary school with me in Barbados, he actually insisted that I come to Jamaica, to Barberton, New York for a weekend, and he sent me the ticket so I couldn't say no. And long story short, over that weekend, they were really sad. You really, really all right? I said, yeah, it's a choice. Yeah, nobody can determine whether they be bitter or happy. They choose what they do in their life. I control my inside. And my friends asked me to go to church. They didn't want to go to church. It was influenced to go, and a church called Christian Cultural Center in New York.
Yeah, Bernard.
And that pastor. Yep, Bernard. Bernard was talking to one single person in that church. That was me. And I got from the back row in the church, to the shock of my friends, to the altar. I asked me how I got there. I still don't know. I just know it was led. There was no pain, no emotion, no nothing. And I'd never gone to an altar before in my life. Took me to a prayer room. Never gone to a prayer room before in my life. And I came out of that church on Mother's Day, the 14th, 1995, saying that I was going to preach and teach.
I changed the man. Okay.
Pardon?
I changed the man.
And I didn't understand yet. I was changed. I know I gave my life to God and to Jesus. But however, I didn't know it was God that had put in my spirit that I was to preach and teach. And if I fast forward to August that year, when I was general manager for Ecolab in Jamaica, and I was blessed to be the youngest general manager in 27 countries around the world. At that time, Ecolab was a $2 billion company. I came to Jamaica at 30 years old, okay? And one of our clients was Sandals, as we were a clean hygiene chemical company. And unbeknownst to me, I call her name because it was it's a significant impact on my life. Shauna Gomez was the head of housekeeping, or the deputy for Sandals, for the whole Sandals group in Jamaica. And she'd been calling, forgetting his name now, hold on a second. He had this really, really popular television station in Jamaica. All of a sudden, his name slipping me. That stood for years. He used to interview all types of persons. Come on.
Ian Boy.
Ian
Boy.
Huh? Ian Boy. Yeah, Ian Boy called me one day and said, this person from Sandals, Shauna Gomez, is insisting that he interviews me. He said, look, I want to meet you, sir, because if she would not start calling, but I'm not promising you that I'll interview. I just want to meet you. And so this was August 95, and went to meet Ian Boy at the radio station. They're talking, and all of a sudden he says, stop. And he tells the crew, we're going to do an interview right now.
Oh.
So totally unprepared. He interviewed me. And then when we finished the interview, he told the crew, get it finished now, because this is a Friday afternoon. We are going to air this on Sunday, and we're going to put back whatever else we plan to air. So here was I, totally unplanned. Okay, Ian Boy does this interview. I'm even nervous, how this thing is going to look and sound. And I remember not even telling many of my friends that I was going to be on Ian Boy's program that Sunday. And I was shocked. First of all, I saw how well I could communicate on my feet. So that was the first time in my life I'd ever seen myself on video, okay? Although I was confident I could communicate, but I'd never seen myself. I heard myself in such a forum. And then at the end of the program, Ian Boy said, tell me something. You are having this wonderful corporate life. Would you give your license to go and preach and teach?
Oh.
And without blinking my eye, I said, sir, if God said that I was to preach and teach, I would do it. I'm not, there's only 3 months after becoming a Christian.
But
I had no idea that when I returned to Barbados, 3 months later, to become the youngest ever vice president to the Barbados Tourism Authority. And I was supposed to become president by age 35, so I became vice president at 32. I had no idea that I would go through the experiences that I went through with God at 33 and 34, and God would make it absolutely clear that I was to preach and teach.
So you and your wife created the Free Mind Institute Incorporated.
Yeah, yes, we did that.
All right, so I'm going to try and bring
you... Go ahead, you go ahead.
Yes, I want to bring you now to the issues that we are curious about. And I think you have established the vantage point from which you sit to be able to comment on these things. Most recently, Barbados shook off the last obvious vestige of colonialism. That's how I'm describing it. We in Jamaica felt very proud and somewhat envious, and have just been curious on the mood and the mindset of the Barbadian native as they make this transition. So I certainly want your perspective on it, coming to these issues as you do from a position of faith and what sovereignty means in these particular circumstances, and how the people kind of move themselves into, kind of carrying this out, because Jamaica want to do the same.
All right, let me start with my opinion first of all. I start with my opinion, and we're removing the last constitutional vestiges.
Yeah, well, that's why I called it the obvious one.
Yeah.
Because
Yes. Because if you ask me, Jamaicans, pardon? Sorry, go again.
No, I said the ones we don't see.
Yes, and that's it. And so if you ask me, having lived in Jamaica, having lived in Barbados and a couple other places, Jamaica is freer than Barbados. All right? But having said that, it was over 2 decades ago that the whole discussion of Barbados becoming a republic came up. I mean, this is years after, I think, Dominica, Guyana, Trinidad became republics in the 70s. And there were a number of constitutional groupings that were to discuss Barbados becoming a republic. And so in more recent times, the Owen Arthur administration did discuss it, had a committee to review it, but not much was said about it. And then at some point, the Fondell Stewart administration, which was the administration before me and Motley, also had a committee, and they made a recommendation just like the first, but nothing was ever acted on, and it was just a discussion. There was a promise of a referendum, I think, in the last elections proposed by me and Motley and the Barbados Labour Party. And it was only last year, in a sworn speech by the Governor General, who is now the president, our first president, there was a mindset that there would have been a referendum before. And so it was said in a sworn speech. And then which is the same date of which Barbados had celebrated independence in 1966.
So have persons gone along with it?
Pardon?
Have persons gone along with it, or are they happy about it?
I think it's on both sides. You have those who are happy with it, who think that we needed to remove those vestiges on one hand, even if it's only ceremonial. Okay, there are those who have come up under the Queen, the older age group, who are probably in a large part a bit more cautious. I think to the younger community it doesn't make a difference because nothing really changes other than certain constitutional things at this point in time. But so I think it's mixed. I really think it's mixed. But having gone through it, I think a lot of people are even more now are proud that Barbados has become a republic and the Queen is no longer our head of state. Because really all it was a figurehead. So I imagine that there's a greater level of pride now that it has happened.
But would you say that this move by prime ministerial decree is a kind of colonial move in and of itself, because the people were hoping for a referendum or thought that it would have been put to them in a democratic process?
You know, honestly, my opinion is that
Kinda
there are
ironic.
certain things that decisions that leaders can make and have the authority to make. All right? And given that really and truly a lot of this is really constitutional to some extent.
Yes.
It is that really, and what's the word I want to use now? It's not necessarily at this point in time substantive, okay?
Yes.
But that it's a decision that our leader could make. And so I don't think it, in my opinion, just my personal opinion, I didn't think it needed to go to a referendum. All right?
Yes, I don't think so for Jamaica either. But it's interesting that a referendum is a democratic process for making change. And the nature of it is to ensure that the widest possible cross-section of citizens have a say on the issue. So it truly reflects the view of the majority. Sometimes form can overtake substance. It seems to me that even the cost of a referendum speaks against it. If you believe that this is what is desirable and best, and as you say, the government has the authority, then it is quite fine for them to exercise that authority.
Okay.
So I understand
Good.
your perspective.
I want to continue to shift gears, Errol. So,
Yeah, first of all.
So what has happened is that
First of all, just one quick second before you shift gears. Just one thought that came to mind as Minette was speaking just now. You know, no one expected this election call now.
Oh, okay.
Nobody
That's
at
where I
all.
was good.
18 months earlier. And so, just as Minette was talking just now, we've never had a referendum in Barbados that I'm aware of. Okay? We've seen other countries have it. And the thought that just came as Minette was speaking was, hold on a second. Why can't there be a referendum and an election at the same time?
True, which is how some places do it. Most places do it that way. They
Yeah,
put the question on the ballot.
On the ballot. And I never thought about it before until just now you were speaking.
See that's how it works. I've inspired you.
I hope it's God. Through you.
Through me, of course.
but it is. So the question now is, you raise a thing that it was prime ministerial edict that shifted from the Queen to the Republic. Is Mia Mottley a truly democratic leader, or does she rule by prime ministerial edict? Tell me your points on that in terms of things that how she operates.
All right. Mia Amor Mottley, Prime Minister of Barbados, is a strong character. Okay? There is no question who is the leader of Barbados. As a reference, when Arthur became Prime Minister in '94, he wasn't as fluent as a speaker, and he grew into his communication, being able to be an effective communicator. And then at the same time, when Arthur was also grew his stature, not just in Barbados, but across the Caribbean, okay, seen as a leader. He grew into being a strong leader in people's minds. Reference the previous Prime Minister, Fondell Stewart, from the very beginning. He became Prime Minister after the death of David Thompson, who was thought to be an effective communicator. And there's no question that Fondell Stewart was not the best of communicators and the most effective of communicators. Okay, and now out of that, let's say 7-year period with Fondell Stewart as Prime Minister, where a lot of people complained about not hearing from the Prime Minister. Mia Mottley, who was always a strong personality and a phenomenal communicator, became Prime Minister of Barbados. First female Prime Minister. Again, just for information, in 2018.
Yeah.
And so there is no question who the Prime Minister is. Even if you ask the general public whether they support her party or any other party, and you ask them who could be the person to step in her shoes, there's no one person that will come to mind with a large percentage of people. She's the leader. And so while that's clear, What we do not know behind the scenes, the speculation, the extent to which she dominates.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're saying that
to the party. Now,
so you're
they
saying
are actually. So for yesterday evening, we were doing some deliveries. I went to one household, and one person came to the car, and he looked down. I couldn't understand why, and he began to communicate. We've got a dictator, and we are now going to put this dictator back in power for another 5 years. I mean, I was so shocked of the extent to which this individual said this, and we had never had this type of discussion before. Okay, and I say that not that is the common opinion.
Right,
okay?
but it's
there
certainly...
is rumor that yes, she rules as a dictator behind the scenes. But however, phenomenal communicator, not only on the local stage and the regional stage, on the international stage, highly respected, especially including outside of Barbados. And so she, I can imagine, as any phenomenal communicator and strong personality, and not only that, also very personable. I can see where there is tremendous influence in whatever sphere that she's in.
Okay. So what are you saying in terms of the election? Are you saying that there are rumblings on the ground? The last time she won, she won all the seats in Parliament. Is that the situation currently?
She holds 30 seats.
Honestly, not sure, Percival. Not sure what the groundswell perspective is, but I say that no. I share my opinion now. First of all, I personally do not understand why someone who won 30 love the last time. It's now 29-1 because a pastor, Bishop Joseph Asley, chose to switch and become an independent, and then automatically became the leader of the opposition. Right. That was not expected. That was a shock move. Okay, but really and truly, you have such a strong majority. You are seen as this phenomenal, effective person.
Why call
would you call an election 18 months before it is due, when many people think it's to be an obvious victory for her and the party? People are asking why do it during a pandemic. I have no clue why Prime Minister Mia Mottley has chosen to call election at this point in time. Honestly, I don't understand it.
May I offer a perspective?
Go ahead.
From my reading, I can see that the work that lies ahead for all of us in the region, not just Barbados, the work that lies ahead for the next 3 or so years requires no interruption by an election and campaigning and so on. And a visionary leader, or a leader who's thinking very deeply, would want to set about planning the next phase of national life without contemplating a challenge at the polls. I say it because as the impact of the pandemic continues to manifest, we are going to see some hard times and some adjustments that need to be made, which won't make any leader feel secure. I just remembered a proverb about one of the things that the world can't bear. One of it being a leader who is a strutting leader who is secure against threat, whose throne is secure against threat. I think leaders want to move very confidently in this season to take the tough decisions and not be worried that they are going to lose political strength as they navigate these times. And I think also with what the possibility of climate change, disasters,
vaccine mandates coming,
the vaccine, all of those things around the region, not just in your own country, but the impact of what is happening on the global stage, gonna make it hard for leaders, gonna put everybody under pressure. And if you have an election coming up, you can't feel very secure. That's just my thought. And if I were in her position, I would have done the same thing. It's nothing to sacrifice 18 months and secure 5 years of committed work. or how long are your elections? 5 years as well? Like ours?
5 years, 5-year period.
5-year period, yeah. So I would do it. The 18 months is a small sacrifice. If I can get a committed period of time in which to do all the ugly work and take all the licks and possibly never run again, but I would have done my best by the country. We're going to have to take a break, Errol.
Sure.
But I feel like we've broken the back of what I wanted to discuss with you, and it's really been very interesting hearing it in the voice of the Barbadian. So you dream about a Jamaican accent, and I certainly have very fond memories of the Barbadian accent. So all's fair in love and war.
I guess that's, if you call that fair, then okay. We can understand each other's perspective.
Absolutely. I was saying to Percy that, when you come on the call, I hope you don't say, "Hey, buddy."
But you did. Because you know what that means in Jamaica.
No, I want you to interpret that for me, please.
No, sir, we'll do that off air. We value our license. On this program, we value our broadcasting license. We'll discuss that one off air. Thank you so much, Errol. I hope we get to speak again.
Yeah, but thanks for sharing, and we'll talk. Blessings to you and to Susan and the girls.
Thank you very much for allowing me to be here, and all the best to you and your families.
Thank you so much.
Blessings. Good.
All right. So is it time for the 8 o'clock break? We did blow past it, and we are going to make that very satisfying call to the lucky winner of the Digicel sweepstakes. No, don't call it that. Live cash call in a short while. So please stay with us.
We'll be right back.
BBC News. Hello, this is Jerry Smith. The Chinese authorities have put an entire city into lockdown after the discovery of just 3 asymptomatic COVID cases. Yuzhou, which has a population of 1 million, has effectively closed down. Robin Brandt reports.
As of last night in Yuzhou, almost all vehicles have been banned from the roads. All shops and businesses, apart from supermarkets supplying food, have been told to close. 500 kilometers away, millions more in the city of Xi'an are 2 weeks into a lockdown. The supply chain there has become so stretched that there are reports some people are bartering cigarettes for vegetables and exchanging other goods for sanitary towels.
China has begun sealing its Winter Olympics bubble a month before the Games begin, with the authorities determined to try to keep COVID cases to zero. Everyone involved, from volunteers to cooks and cleaners, will be forced into a closed loop, isolating them from the general public with their own transport system. Athletes and global media will be cocooned in the bubble as soon as they arrive in the country. The United States has registered more than 1 million new coronavirus cases in the past 24 hours, setting a global daily record for infections. The figure is nearly double the previous record registered just 4 days ago. The government's top medical advisor, Anthony Fauci, has said hospitalization figures are now a better indication of the impact of the pandemic than infection numbers. Media reports suggest more than 100,000 people are currently in hospital in the US with COVID-19. The authorities in the Indian capital Delhi have imposed a weekend curfew as COVID-19 cases, largely driven by the Omicron variant, continue to surge there. Yogita Lemoye reports.
The Delhi government announced these measures as COVID cases are rising sharply in the city and many parts of India. Mumbai has the highest number of infections, and civic authorities here have said that if they start seeing a rapid increase in people needing medical care, they will consider imposing a lockdown. Doctors have told the BBC that while they're seeing more hospital admissions, it's not going up as quickly as the number of infections. The big worry, though, is that frontline workers are getting sick, which is affecting capacity at medical facilities.
An American tech entrepreneur who claimed she could diagnose many medical conditions with a simple blood test has been found guilty of fraud. A jury in California convicted Elizabeth Holmes on 4 counts of deceiving investors. Brazilian media are reporting that President Jair Bolsonaro will not need surgery to treat the abdominal problem for which he was admitted to hospital in the early hours on Monday. The quote Mr. Bolsonaro's doctor as saying the president will be treated with antibiotics. World news from the BBC. Israel is to allow same-sex couples, single men and transgender people to have equal access to surrogate pregnancies. The new policy takes effect next week, as Mike Thompson reports.
Until this ruling, same-sex couples, transgender people and single men in Israel had been denied the right to become parents through surrogacy. Now, after the earlier backing of Israel's Supreme Court, that ban will be lifted from the 11th of January. Speaking at a press conference, Israel's Health Minister Nitzan Horowitz said, "Today we are putting an end to years of injustice and discrimination." The country's LGBTQ+ community has long been demanding this change.
A man accused of setting fire to South Africa's parliament has appeared in court in Cape Town. Zandile Christmas Mafe faces charges including arson and theft. His lawyer says police have arrested the wrong person. The blaze began before sunrise on Sunday and was initially declared under control on Monday until strong winds reignited flames. The world tennis number one Novak Djokovic says he will go to Australia this month to defend his Open title despite the country's strict coronavirus rules. The Serbian star, who's spoken out against COVID vaccines, said he'd received a medical exemption. Here's Russell Fuller.
Novak Djokovic has not commented on his vaccination status in recent months, but had previously made his reservations about having the vaccine clear. The world number one took to social media to say he had received an exemption and is heading down under today. Applications for medical exemptions are being assessed anonymously by two separate panels, with inflammatory cardiac illness or another acute condition listed as valid reasons. But it is also possible Djokovic has recently tested positive for the virus, which would allow him to defer taking the vaccine at this time.
Russell Fuller. And that's the BBC News.
The station that makes you feel good.
I love the station. I think it's great.
My station.
Moving.
My station.
Moving. Keep it right here. Keep it right here.
Best FM, keep listening.
The Go Loud Cash Call is live and 50k is on the line. Tune in to Best FM Tuesday, January 4 and Friday, January 7, 2022 to listen to live calls. Who knows? It could be your lucky number. Must be using the Go Loud app and a digital customer to qualify. Go Loud, simply more radio and podcast. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting Game.
Live the life. Respect the music. And keep your radio locked in.
The Best 100 FM.
Close a long day on a Tuesday afternoon with a great company. While you're heading home, stuck in traffic, or on your way to work. Yes, when life throws you Tuesday, turn up and let it be a True's day. And True's on the air with Tashika Lu, your one-stop, entertaining, inspiring late afternoon show with friendly conversations, song requests, positive affirmation, learn something to improve your health, and submission box when you, my listeners, share your relationship problems.
Hold on. What you just say? You're engaged this month for 5 years and I know him can't marry you? Is that prank? No, Jordan.
Tuesdays from 5 to 7 p.m. right here on Best 100 FM, the station that is heard everywhere.
Who's ready to answer the Go Loud Cash Call? Here's your chance to be one of 4 winners of 50,000 weekly. Just answer the Go Loud Cash Call with the phrase
Simply More Radio and Podcast.
and the money is yours. Tune in to Best FM Tuesday, January 4 and Friday, January 7, 2022 to listen to live calls. Go Loud, Simply More Radio and Podcast. Text 402 to 137 for more information. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
The station that rules the nation. From state to state, country to country.
Best FM.
We play the hits just for you.
My hope is built on nothing less than Jesus' blood and his righteousness. Friends in Radio Land, holy greetings to you all. This is your radio pastor and friend, Reverend Simon Jones, inviting you to join me every Tuesday evening at 7:30 p.m. for the program, The Voice of Hope, as we extend hope to the hopeless in a dying world.
Vegam Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Vegam Printers, your best choice in printing.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Lord, welcome back. We're open the lines as yet? No.
I don't know how the engineer want to do it because we want to give the all
digis-
right, so in this segment we are going to announce and the winner of the Digicel promotion for the Go Loud app. But the way it's to be done, of course, is we have to call the person. And if the person successfully gives us the tagline, and let me just repeat the tagline. The tagline is Simply More Radio and Podcast. That's it. That's all. So you're eligible if your name, your number is on the list, which the engineer currently has. And he has the list of 24 from which we are going to pull 2 winners. So can
and
you
the winner
imagine?
will get $50,000.
The winner gets $50,000. So locked and loaded. It's the time when we open the lines as well. So how should we play it, engineer? I don't want to deprive the persons of calling. We have to find a way to fit it in.
Mm-hmm. So we call the numbers. They call. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We're not going to open the lines. All right, sir. Start with the first call. Yes. In the meantime, we are still kind of enjoying the highlights of the conversation with Errol Griffith. Please remember, Jamaicans have Griffiths, and the Bajans only have Griffith.
Yes, as he pointed said, because we multiplied, they were the first.
We
You multiplied.
I saying they lost the S, but he says since the slave ship stopped in Barbados first, we gained the S as we crossed the waters. The first caller is on the line. Oh, not yet?
No, you're going to hear it ringing.
Oh, okay, cool. And then, of course, the things he said, which were some of them quite interesting to me, aside from his personal call to service, which, I pray that everybody experience a dramatic call into action where you even remember the date and the time.
Oh,
and all
jeez,
those
that was...
Please do not ask me. I'll tell people like, okay, well, I was born loving the Lord.
Oh, my Lord.
Because I don't remember. But then, in truth, my clearest recollection is when I was age 10.
Okay.
So I have my own. It wasn't really a Damascus Road event.
But it was, because he was fighting.
Yeah, man. The man said, that's it. Don't believe in you anymore, because
You
I
can't
have to
make
go
me
to
play
church, but you can't make me believe.
You can't make... Yes, like little boy mother tell him to sit down.
First caller is on the line. Oh, voicemail. Oh, there, you just crossed them off. See, so, if you happen to be on the phone now, but you are a Go Loud, you use the app, please hang up the phone. So if your number, because we just got a voicemail on the first number, just so you know how sometimes $50,000 can pass you
Walk
by.
away from you.
Yeah, can you imagine? I say one day I want to be shown the things that I missed, or the disasters that I was spared, and the things that I missed. That is a revelation that I would like to be shown, like on a screen. To say, see that right there, Minette? On the blank day of blank, you were next in line for so and so. I hear it ringing. So I have to be patient and wait.
You have reached the voicemail box of
voicemail. So does that mean that
1876.
Well, oops. We're calling on the network of the very provider who has established this promotion. So they will suffer from the congestion on their own network in identifying the winner. All right. The other thing that he said, which you tacked it as the nugget of the day for you, is when he said that having lived in Jamaica,
I lived in Barbados.
And other islands too, but he said Jamaicans are what?
Freer.
Freer than Barbadians. I could have spent just another half an hour talking
about
that with him. You know, the ways in which we exhibit this greater mark of freedom. The truth is, the process of emancipating ourselves from mental slavery is well underway in Jamaica. You know, some Jamaicans don't even appreciate how much freedom we truly enjoy. Of course, complete freedom lies in another direction, but for the time being, while you are a work in progress, I think it is good to know from a neighboring island that Jamaicans are not as enslaved. Can you be partially enslaved? Is it like a little pregnant?
No, I don't think you can be a little pregnant. You're pregnant or...
I mean, you don't think.
No, you can be a little pregnant.
Yes, sir. That's a type for absolute.
Yeah. But I don't know.
Can you be a little enslaved?
Because I think emancipation is a process, if you really think about it.
So is the converse true? If you're on your way to being emancipated, does it mean you're only partially enslaved?
Probably. Can it? You think about it. I don't know. It begs the question, but it's true.
Yeah, we're just kind of spinning our wheels while we wait on a lucky. What is happening with the phone calls? Oh, it's after 8:30. You're gonna do it after. Well, then we have to open the lines. Cause that's our next step. I know.
That's 8:21 now, so it would.
Well, so we're discussing it on air. I would love for someone. I think we need to start making the calls because it's 24 numbers that you have. So just keep.
But it was announced for 8:30. That's what Andre was saying.
You mean persons are keeping their phones ready for
like a gun cock waiting for the call.
All right, no problem. We keep going. I have no problem with that.
And then it speaks to the fact that part of the whole thing with the removal of the Queen, it was said then in a throne speech that would be doing it, and you don't hear anything, and then 4 months say, okay, we're gonna do it.
Yeah, but a little deeper than that, because he said for 2 decades and many committee reports and so on.
Same here?
They were saying, no, for 2 decades.
I'm saying it's some similarities in Jamaica, same here.
Yeah, so for 2 decades, they were talking about making this move, and it was always acknowledged that a referendum would be used as the democratic tool to arrive at consensus on the issue, and then the throne speech, and then. So my question to him was whether that process itself smacked of colonial behavior, where you who have the power just bypass.
And the Prime Minister have the same power, don't you think?
In some respects, yes, because we're using the Westminster model, which comes out of colonial England. So it smacks of the same assumption that you know what is best and you override any process that would allow people to speak for themselves. I feel that is a fair comment on how it was done. To us, it looks like a show of great of power and fortitude in a positive way, but it has some undertones that I think.
Let's tease this a little bit more. You have been called to lead. And how much does external input into the decisions you make serve? Is it
what you call external? People input?
Yeah, people input. Yeah,
that's not external.
No, people input because you in yourself as leaders, called to be leader, you lead by influencing persons and so on.
If you're a democracy, remember, it depends on the type of leadership that you have. And you asked that question, whether she is viewed as someone who rules by a prime ministerial edict or someone who practices a more democratic style of government.
It would seem that way,
requiring
but what he has
consensus
said.
and consultation. He says they're just happy to have a prime minister who can talk good. after seasons of some dry ones.
We can't just talk good.
It's
They mean
just
Stuart
exciting.
versus, because David Thompson died in office and Stuart took over.
Yeah.
And then they had the election and he gave it the contrast of 4 leaders now.
Yeah.
Owen Arthurs, who was married to a Jamaican, incidentally. He came out. Then Donald David Thompson, who died in office, and then Stewart, and then they had the election where there was a total wipeout because the people.
No, but he was talking about their style and their ability to communicate.
That's what I'm saying.
And yes,
and that's probably
they were coming out of a dry season.
So that is probably why there was a wipeout in the election.
Yeah, so you get a leader who is
who can talk the things but not do. But doesn't.
No, let's hear what you're saying there now.
Can't talk up
Mind
the
your
things.
mouth. Don't speak bad about our Prime Minister.
And I'm not bad motive. No, you have a leader who can talk the things, but there's no real implementation and follow-up.
With whom? Miss Motley?
That's what I'm saying. Is it a similar case?
No, he didn't say that.
No, I'm wondering. I'm just thinking out aloud.
On what basis are you wondering?
I'm just wondering because the impression we've gotten is that she's a good talker, she's a strong leader, but in terms of the implementation of stuff that affect people on the ground, we should have a follow-up. Is that really happening or it's not happening? Because in Jamaica we have people who talk nice.
I don't get that impression.
Who talk
I've
nice.
not got an impression on her performance or her ability. I have not got a negative impression. He was speaking about her ability to communicate, and he's saying, as a leader, she has so impressed the Barbadians
and
with
the external world.
her ability to communicate that I think they go along with it and they're just happy to have someone who he actually said that they didn't really miss the referendum, and his personal opinion is that if the government have the authority to do it without coming back to the people and they do it, it's a moot point. No need to debate.
Yeah, but what I found instructive,
which is also absolutely right.
What I found instructive was the fact that
fresh instructions.
Yeah.
Hey, listen up. If you are waiting on 8:30 to get that call and to claim your $50,000, you must answer when the phone rings. Oh my goodness, that's challenging. When the phone rings, do not say hello or any other word or phrase.
Must be.
When the phone rings, you must say Simply More Radio and Podcast. Okay. Well, I would have never get that $50,000 because I wouldn't know that this number calling me requires that answer. I might say, hi, Mom.
Yeah, you understand, but that's the trick. Oh, well, Errol is correcting me online to say she can implement.
You know the good news for me with that?
Yeah.
Errol is still listening.
Yes, because I sent him the thing, so he's probably one of the persons who's online.
Yeah. Oh, that is wonderful. He's still listening. That's the highlight for me.
Hey.
Not that his Prime Minister is great at implementing, which is exactly what I thought.
Which is what you thought.
Of course.
And we have a contrast here in terms of I am still listening.
And to prove that he's listening, he types, I am still listening. You see why I love the communication online? Because Errol answered right away and say, I am still listening. Boy, so it really was wonderful to have that. We got to find someone, go back into your Rolodex and find Andre just looked blank. He has never heard the word Rolodex.
I'm just going to his phone.
Don't know what that is.
And these young people looking for a number, some of them we have memorized. But with the phone, we just and find it.
I don't use my brain cells to memorize phone numbers.
I have another expression. I don't have the brain space for it right now. I hear that frequently.
Well, I have the space. I just don't use it that way.
Okay.
But you need to go into your Rolodex and find some more of your Caribbean people from your World Cricket adventure. World Cup of Cricket adventure.
Well, another lady I'd love us to talk. She's a director. She's produced 4 or 5 feature.
Is that the Jamaican lady?
Marcia Weeks.
I don't want a Jamaican lady. I want a Guyanese lady.
But she lives in Barbados now.
But we just had Errol and we don't want a substitute. I'm kidding. I'm just pressing you. You see, that's what happens, you know. When you perform with excellence, people want more. And they get fussy now. Don't bring the regular thing. You got to bring something fancy.
Well, we can. But
so to those who want to, let me just remind you, because I don't want you to miss the $50,000. Your phone will ring. It will be a number that you don't know, an unfamiliar number. Which line are you calling from? It might, 6191508? Oh.
We calling. We have to call.
Okay, so it will be an unfamiliar number. That's enough. You see me, I'm the giving sort. I just want to get you well positioned.
So do what you are called to do.
Your phone will ring. and it will be an unfamiliar number, and you must say Simply More Radio and Podcast. That's it.
Mm-hmm. If you
Please
answer
make my
otherwise-
life easy. When the phone ring in a few minutes time, because we're going to go back to calling again. That needs to be the answer. We're going to take our 8:30 break now, and then we'll
After
come
the
back
break,
with
we'll come
just
back.
deal with this so we can talk to our listeners. Please stay with us.
We'll be right back.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-Time Taxi Service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
You can call us on 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
The Go Loud Cash Call is live and 50K is on the line. Tune into Best FM Tuesday, January 4 and Friday, January 7, 2022 to listen to live calls. Who knows? It could be your lucky number. Must be using the Go Loud app and a Digicel customer to qualify. Go Loud, Simply More Radio and Podcast. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting
The station that makes you feel good.
I love the station. I think it's great.
My station.
Moving.
My station.
Moving. Keep it right here. Keep it right here.
Best FM, keep listening.
Who's ready to answer the Go Loud Cash Call? Here's your chance to be one of 4 winners of 50,000 weekly. Just answer the Go Loud Cash Call with the phrase
Simply More Radio and Podcast.
and the money is yours. Tune into Best FM Tuesday, January 4 and Friday, January 7, 2022 to listen to live calls. Go Loud, Simply More Radio and Podcast. Text 402 to 137 for more information. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
Close a long day on a Tuesday afternoon with a great company. While you're heading home, stuck in traffic, or on your way to work. Yes, when life throws you Tuesday, turn up and let it be a True's day. And True's on the air with Tashika Lu, your one-stop, entertaining, inspiring late afternoon show with friendly conversations, song requests, positive affirmation, learn something to improve your health, and submission box when you, my listeners, share your relationship problems.
Hold on. What you just say? You're engaged this month for 5 years and I know him can't marry you? Is that prank? No, Jordan.
Tuesdays from 5 to 7 p.m. right here on Best 100 FM, the station that is heard everywhere.
Vegam Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Vegam Printers, your best choice in printing.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
All right, welcome back. So I was very generous in my preparation of the callers who are in line to win this Go Loud
$50,000
promotion, $50,000.
Can you imagine if it was
I've been
50,000 US
scolded
dollar?
properly. Why you want it to be in another currency?
We are call coming in now.
No, the call that is ringing.
Hello, good morning.
Oh, right away you're disqualified. Good morning. This is the Morning Connection. You were shortlisted by Digicel in their Go Loud promotion to win $50,000.
Wow.
But it required you to answer the phone by saying Simply More Radio and Podcast. You're not listening to Best FM.
I wasn't. I was in the shower.
Oh, no.
You know, I tell you, and just for that, I would give you a do-over. But you know what? Perhaps I'm going to move on to the next number. And in the event that no one answers correctly, I will find out if I can call again.
But listen, this is Best FM, 100.1, 100.3, 100.5, and 7 and 9.
I am very familiar with this radio station.
Oh, really?
Okay.
I am.
Oh, well.
I am.
Oh, sorry about that.
I'm so sorry I can't give you $50,000, but I'm calling the next person.
Oh, it would have been a wonderful New Year's gift.
All right. Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, my friend. You were shortlisted by Digicel to win $50,000 in their Go Loud promotion, but it required you to answer the phone saying, Simply More Radio, Simply More Podcast.
Simply More Radio and Podcast.
And Podcast. I'm so sorry. I have to call the next person on the list, but you have a wonderful day.
All right, thanks. I'll see you.
You're welcome. Well, this is fun for me. I get to say it. So I'm the one who gets to say it. Maybe I'll win the $50,000. Simple More Radio and Podcast. All right.
Hello, good morning.
Oh,
Good
you
morning.
Good morning. We're calling from Best.
We're calling from Best FM, the Morning Connection, and you were shortlisted by Digicel to win $50,000 in their Go Loud promotion, but it required you to answer the phone with their tagline, Simply More Radio and Podcast. Now I'm starting to feel quite bad and mean because so far no one has answered with the tagline.
Okay.
I think I just read the ad.
Oh,
Really? All right.
It just came up on my phone. Thank you.
Okay, well, I am moving on to the
All the
next
best for
caller, but you have
2022
a
to you.
great day.
Good.
Oh, now I'm starting to feel like a Grinch.
They listen there? No. Because they're not listening while they're there.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I am calling you from Best FM. You were shortlisted by Digicel to win $50,000 in their Go Loud promotion, but it required you to answer the phone by saying Simply More Radio and Podcast. So I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry, my brother.
I know you've lost nothing, but I feel bad.
But we weren't able to give that to you.
I can't give you $50,000 this morning, but please keep listening. Who knows? Maybe your number will come up another occasion.
Okay.
All right. Have a great day.
All right, thanks.
We're going down the list. This is interesting to me because now I can tell that this $50,000 may never leave our hands.
And the probability of somebody winning it, unless they're listening, you know?
Yeah, that is
I don't think it's in your hands. It's not.
Yeah, well, I speak the royal we.
Yes, we.
Our hands.
Our hands.
But this is an interesting way to do a promotion.
Yeah, it has been done like that.
What it gets is me saying it a lot more. It gets me saying it every time. That is the advertisement. This is interesting. All right. So I would love to speak to Errol again about the ways in which freedom is.
You have reached the voicemail box of 187.
How many numbers do we have left on the list? Because it's 24. I kind of love the comment he made about that surge in national pride, because sometimes, even if a thing is
symbolic
done,
things.
even if a thing is done the wrong way, the result and the effect of it can be such that you overlook the transgression in the way it was done. And I can see that this would be one of them, where they said, no, you're going to love this. Don't mind that I trampled on you to bring it to your house, but you're going to love this. Or, like when your phone ring at some unseasonable
Hello?
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is the Morning Connection on Best FM. You were shortlisted to win $50,000 by Digicel in their Go Loud promotion, but it required you to answer the phone saying Simply More Radio and podcast. The tagline.
Are you serious?
I am serious.
We are serious. It's not a prank call. We're actually calling you.
I'm not that lucky, honestly. I just came into the office, man.
Jeez.
Just came up from work,
All right. Well, if you keep listening, who knows?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So we have another caller. Is it ringing?
Hello.
Oh, good morning. Are you listening to Best FM this morning?
Oh, seriously? Oh my God. Wow.
Can I tell you?
I saw the message this morning. Oh my God.
And you still answer the phone. Hello. You did not say Simply More Radio and podcast.
Oh my God.
And I know $50,000 would have done you well at this point in time.
Very well. Call me back.
All right. Well, right now the engineer is calling the next number on the list.
Sorry.
All right. Thank you for calling.
Bless you. Have a good year now.
Sad that I missed that, but oh my God.
Yeah, so close.
Okay.
All right.
So, if you're listening and you hear your phone ringing, hello. So it's ringing now. And
Good day.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Are you listening to Best FM or watching your phone closely? Did you get a message from Digicel about the Go Loud promotion? No?
Go Loud promotion?
Yes, your number was shortlisted by Digicel in their Go Loud promotion to win $50,000. But it required you to answer the phone by saying the tagline, Simply More Radio and Podcast. So this call was to give you the $50,000 had you answered with the tagline. I'm so sorry.
All right, then good. Thanks.
Have a good day. Well, now I'm really feeling like a mean person. Right, so it's ringing. If your phone ringing, just answer the phone with the tagline. I beg of you. Release me from this assignment.
Hello.
Good morning.
Morning.
Are you listening to Best FM?
Yes, sometimes.
Did you see a message come to your phone telling you that Digicel has a Go Loud promotion where you can win $50,000 if you answer the phone saying Simply More Radio and Podcast?
Okay.
Yeah, this is the call. So I was calling to give you $50,000, but you didn't greet me the right way. So I'm calling the next person.
Okay.
All right. All right. Have we run out of numbers? No, man, it's 24 numbers. That's the draw. Okay. But I would love to
There's another day.
Oh yes, on another. That's it. Are we finished now? Oh, okay. Two winners from each block of 24. Yeah, I was saying to you, Percy, that there can be. So, for example, let's say, for example, the Prime Minister does a complete lockdown, and we just nip the whole COVID thing in the bud. We would have been very upset that he didn't consult with us and it never. But if it worked, then we would feel proud that we took a hard hit, but it worked. Mm-hmm. And you are more forgiving of the transgression when there's some
good at the end of it.
Some
but
good at the
not
end of
seeing
it.
any good and you're not getting information.
Yeah, no, but you're taking that. I'm just using it by way of analogy. In Barbados, they went into they transitioned to a republic without a referendum. But having done it and seen how the world has viewed it and recognized that it is a kind of a big boy, an adult move, the pride that you feel taking that step makes up for the annoyance that you were not consulted in the process to the extent that was expected.
That I can understand.
Yeah, so I can understand that surge in national pride could relieve the disappointment on the process. And then, that question you asked about the style of leadership is very much, it's something that I believe all of the nations in the region have to grapple with, because we're accustomed to very popular leaders, and very popular leaders tend to be...
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you, sir. Are you listening to Best 100 FM?
No, I'm
In
not.
fact, you're not listening to the radio at all, so you don't know that Digicel listed your number as a potential winner in their Go Loud promotion, $50,000 for the person who answers the phone saying Simply More Radio and Podcast.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry for you too, my brother. Because $50,000 do you well right now, eh?
Certainly. You know, there's always a use for some extra dollars. There's always something, some productive use for it.
So I'm going to call the next person and hope that they have better luck. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. All the best for the new year.
Hello.
Good morning.
Morning.
Oh, this is your call from Best 100 FM. Digicel listed you as a potential winner in their Go Loud promotion, where the person who answers the phone with the tagline gets $50,000. But you answered me with hello. So traditional. Oh, the call. He thought it was a prank. So would I. That's the next call. All right. Please answer the phone with the tagline. Please, please, please.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I am calling you from Best 100 FM, where Digicel has listed you as a potential winner in their Go Loud promotion. $50,000 for the person who answers the phone saying the correct tagline.
Simply More Radio and Podcast.
But
And
you
you
said
don't-
hello.
Hello.
You said
said
hello.
So I should have said Simply More Radio and Podcast.
Yes.
Oh.
Gosh, my brother.
Okay.
Okay, sorry about that.
Hello.
Good morning. This is Best 100 FM calling you courtesy of Digicel's promotion, Go Loud. But it requires you to answer the phone with the tagline for the promotion. So I'm so sorry. I was hoping to give you $50,000 this morning.
Okay.
Go back to sleep then.
Sorry, my brother.
Okay.
All right. All right. That's the next one on the list. How's it going, engineer? We're soon finished? No? Please answer with the tagline. Please answer with the tagline.
Hello, morning.
Good morning. So polite. I'm calling from Best 100 FM. You were shortlisted by Digicel in their Go Loud promotion, but it required you to answer the phone with the tagline for the promotion. Simply More Radio and Podcast. Have you been seeing the advertisements for this promotion anywhere?
On your phone.
Not really.
Oh, so I'm so sorry. That's $50,000 that I'll take to someone else. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Okay. Well, this experience is very instructive. We started at 8:30. It's now 8:48. We actually started a little before 8:30. And it's really consisted of me repeating the tagline for the persons who don't even know why I'm calling.
Radio and
podcasts. I think that's the real advertisement. It's me saying it repeatedly. I think I should get the $50,000. I think that's where.
In your dreams.
Hello, morning.
Good morning. I'm calling from Best 100 FM, the Morning Connection. You were shortlisted by Digicel as a potential winner in their Go Loud promotion. Have you heard about it? $50,000.
Certainly heard.
So why you didn't answer the phone with the tagline?
Simply More Radio and Podcast.
There are no do-overs. I'm so sorry. Calling the next person.
Sure.
You know what? I'm going to discuss that with the producer.
Okay.
This requires a dry run.
All right.
All right. Producer, we need to do a callback or two. I'm feeling very cynical in this moment here.
We have the winner.
This exercise is teaching me that the real advertisement is
You have reached the voicemail box of
voicemail. It's me saying
187.
repeatedly that there is a promotion and saying the tagline, and then no one will win the money. This is not easy. All right. Oh, I wonder how many more numbers we have left because I really want to open the lines for our callers. And we've gone. We spent about 20 minutes. Open the lines.
Spend a few more, then pick it up again.
Yeah.
Give somebody a chance.
Yeah. Perhaps we could do that. That's the last one? All right. I do hope it's not ringing or anything. Oh, hello. Good morning.
Morning.
Are you aware of the Go Loud promotion that Digicel has? $50,000 to the person who answers the phone with the correct tagline? No?
I think I hear about it, you know.
Aye, Simple More Radio and podcast should have been your response.
Yeah.
We are such a polite people. Hello, how are you this morning?
I know it is difficult to answer the phone with a tagline, but thank you for answering the phone anyway. I'm calling from Best 100 FM, so if you keep listening on Friday morning, maybe your number will make it back into the pool.
Okay, all right.
Yes, we'll try this again. All right. I should remind our listeners who may be trying to find us on the internet that we are streaming on Twitch TV, Lola 99, and through the Best FM website. And on YouTube, we are streaming live on YouTube, Lola 99. YouTube has put us in the naughty corner for 2 weeks. One of the programs made a blunder, breached the community rules. All right, so fingers crossed, Percy, someone will answer with the tagline. There must be someone who is paying close attention and will answer with
Hello?
the tagline. Good morning.
Hi, morning.
I am calling you from Best 100 FM, from the Morning Connection. You were shortlisted by Digicel in their Go Loud cash call promotion. $50,000 to the person who answers the phone with the correct tagline. But you said hello.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I missed that opportunity.
Yes, my brother. Yes.
Didn't know you had it and then you missed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
All right, my friend. Have a great day.
Good.
And here we go again. We must get lucky. Somebody's listening. Some brave person will just pick up the phone and say, Simply More Radio and Podcast.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is unavailable. ID 4. We're sorry.
Sometimes you get that. How many voicemail? Well, no. That says nothing about what's happening on the network. Percy, I just have to pick chat with you until we can open the line and sustain a conversation.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
style of leadership in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Most of us have had the populist type leader.
Or the messianic leader who comes to save us.
Well, usually we hope that that's what they have come to do. But the ones we really like are the big dramatic talkers and the warm personality and the big-hearted kind of. Yeah, that you know.
That's why we don't when those fall, we forgive them easily. When the others were more stable and
sober-minded,
we put the hatchet job
You
on them.
have reached the voicemail box of
That was the last one? That was the last number? You know, I keep hoping. That's why I'm saying it's at the last one. I don't. Oh, I'm not hearing you too clearly, my engineer. Yeah, there has always been a call for us to pull away from, that kind of leadership.
Charismatic.
The charismatic leader, yeah, and to look more for. Dare we hope for a leader who is charismatic, who is sober-minded, who has a clear grasp and deep knowledge of issues and the competence to execute.
So we can get that along with send notes by email.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm calling you from Best 100 FM. because you were shortlisted to win $50,000 by Digicel in their Go Loud promotion. But it seems like I caught you in a meeting, so I apologize and let you go back to your work.
WebEx, no, the one, not just the WebEx information, and then it's WebEx.
Yes. Okay, so that was a very, very interesting social experiment. Look at that long list of numbers, and the persons who answered. We could run an analysis on it of the persons who answered. Not a single one. I mean, one man knew the tagline.
Yeah, but some people knew about the promotion.
And
the
most
lady
of
knew
them,
about it. It came out,
so many of them got it on their phone. But yeah,
only one lady was in the call, and if you listen,
yeah,
there were mainly men who. Yes, one woman.
Foolish virgin.
I am thinking deeply on this one, but I stand with Digicel. This is their promotion. I will make no comment on the methodology or the question.
Can we open the lines?
The lines are now open, and maybe, you know, wouldn't it be amazing if someone just gave us the tagline?
Oh, wow.
Because they've called to chat. But, yeah, I can see the objective of the promotion can't be for the first person to win it. You need to have the thing repeated plenty times. Well, it is frustrating for the...
And Digicel never lose.
And the house never loses. Let's make it... yeah. Right. So hang in there. If you have got the... if you got a message on your phone, and Lord knows those messages can be quite annoying. And it's from this side now, I'm seeing it from this side, where I am part of trying to give away money. I must say, if I get a message like that, I will take it seriously. I'll take it seriously. I will answer the phone and say whatever it is you tell me to say. I'm kidding. There's no possibility that I would ever pick up the phone when someone has called me and I just repeat that tagline. True. Nope. No possibility. Not a single. Even just instinct is gonna make me say hello.
I need to train yourself.
Yeah, but that's not the thing I would train myself to do.
Yeah, I understand.
Nah. Next thing you know, it's the Prime Minister calling and you say, Simple More Radio and Podcast.
Yes, it is.
Or the police call you, Simple More Radio and Podcast.
And then after that, we're not Digicel.
Yeah, or your child is calling you and you're saying Simple More Radio. From an unknown number, mind you.
$50 is worth it.
$50,000 is worth it. You think so? You'd have to sweeten the pot.
Then buy the child a toy, anything they want.
Oh, wow.
I would let my child answer the phone. Now, that's an idea. I wouldn't answer the phone. I would set somebody to answer the phone. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Am I reaching Simply More Radio and Podcast?
I love you.
Good morning, guys. How are you? I thought that would be a good one.
Yes, it is. I said, dear, I hope that someone will call and just say it.
I'm telling you.
You know what? I would give you $50,000 for that. You have 50,000 Best FM dollars.
Tell me, I
you wish.
It.
What does
I
that?
received it.
We received it. What is that?
She know what it is. It is between the giver and the recipient.
I hear you.
Okay, I just want to commend you guys on that early talk. The devotional, that section with the decoration and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Was really, really good. And walking in line with God's will and stuff like that. That talk was really, really good. Really up my street this morning. Yeah.
Well, can I invite you, or may I invite you in partnership with us to carry that same thing with the persons who are in your circle? Just,
Definitely.
just introduce the subject as pleasantly or as carefully as you can, because I think this is a time when most persons are open to conversations about the plans for the new year. And yesterday I've been encouraging persons, prophesy over your own lives, seek deep into your own spirit and see what you need to get into alignment with and how you can approach things and make the kinds of plans that God will bless and bring His divine will behind it so you can be successful.
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely. I'm doing that.
Okay, Bailey. Okay.
Okay, so you guys have a good day.
You
All right,
too.
thank you.
You so much. All right, I'm tempted to ask the producer a question, but I think he's looking at me and he has read my mind. Mission accomplished.
That's a good thing.
Get
That's
that done. So, it's time for a break. Okay. Get a rest.
We'll be right back.
Youths, are you stressed? Are you faced with trauma? Well, this is the program for you. Join Royton McLaren for Youth Resilience and Empowerment every Monday from 7:30 to 8 p.m. on Best 100.5
The
FM.
Go Loud Cash Call is live and 50K is on the line. Tune in to Best FM Tuesday, January 4 and Friday, January 7, 2022 to listen to live calls. Who knows? It could be your lucky number. Must be using the Go Loud app and a digital customer to qualify. Go Loud, simply more radio and podcast. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting
The station that makes you feel good.
I love the station. I think it's great.
My station.
Moving.
My station.
Moving. Keep it right here. Keep it right here.
Best FM. Keep listening.
Easy! Let not your hearts be troubled. Just believe on God Almighty and daily renew the mind. As we live in this time when fake is more valued than real, lies prefer the truth, the unnatural put above the natural. This is Lady Donna, aka Double D Don, with a new song, Almighty Jah, encouraging your people to keep the faith. God will make a way. Get your copy today. It's on all digital platforms. Lady Donna Official on Instagram, Facebook, AsujaRecords.com. For bookings, Asuja Record Label at Gmail. Almighty Jah!
Praise Him, praise Him, praise Him, praise Him, praise Him. And the name of Jah, if you time me up. And the name of Jah, if you mix me up. So them evil, so them lie, so them corrupt. Stealing and them planning, but we not give up. Jehovah and the one way you put me up. He not the Father, we put first and Jah.
Who's ready to answer the Go Loud Cash Call? Here's your chance to be one of 4 winners of 50,000 weekly. Just answer the Go Loud Cash Call with the phrase
Simply More Radio and Podcast.
and the money is yours. Tune into Best FM Tuesday, January 4 and Friday, January 7, 2022 to listen to live calls. Go Loud, Simply More Radio and Podcast. Text 402 to 137 for more information. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
Vejan Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Vejan Printers, your best choice in printing.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats. Best.
Welcome back, and thank you for being patient with us as we've gone through the work that we had to do for the Go Loud promotion. I think it's been instructive for those listening and who want to participate to just remember the call will come to you from Best FM studio sometime between 8:30 and, as you can see, it takes a while to run through the 24 numbers. All you're required to do is to be bold enough to answer by saying Simply More Radio and Podcast. It's going to happen again on Friday. That's why I'm giving the warning. It's going to happen again on Friday during Jamaica Speaks. So around 8:30 or thereabout, or at Montague, is the voice you will hear. If you feel kind of shy and don't want to just launch into the tagline, you could let him speak first, And then you respond with Simply More Radio and Podcast. What's important is that the first thing you say should be the tagline. Kind of rough, and as Pastor said, didn't know Jamaicans were so polite. No.
Hello?
Nobody pick up the phone and just wait to hear.
Hold on. Have you ever called somebody and said, "What, star, everything all right?"
No.
Well, I've had that because I've had to call people. So
and that's what you say?
No, man, that's how they respond. I said, "Good afternoon." I said, "What, star, everything all right?" Or they will have some interesting greetings that you get on the phone. And you don't know the person from Adam, but that's how it happens, you know.
No, you know what? I've dialed wrong numbers. This is the thing. I'm trying to think if I've done it. I've dialed a number in error. And the person just decided that, you know what, let's talk.
Okay.
I like your voice. Or usually something like that. Say, no, man, let's talk. I like your voice. And you're like, wait, it's a wrong number. It's really nothing that.
But that has happened to me in the past on one occasion. Mr. Digit. Some of the time you put in a wrong digit and you get the person. And on one occasion I can remember that I was able to pray for the person. So some of the times things happen to you, and I always say it is how you respond in the moment.
You volunteer to pray, or how did that come about?
No, we were talking, and I says, wrong number. And I said, oh. And I'm saying, all right, wrong number. I said, who are you? And I'm saying, I'm just calling to follow up somebody from my church. I'm saying, Pastor, you can pray for me. So that's how that happened.
Oh, so you did say, I'm Pastor so-and-so.
Yeah, right.
Okay, because they wouldn't really. You'd make a terrible witness.
I'd make a terrible witness?
I'd have to be just pulling things out of you.
Okay. You know, I've gone to court already as a witness.
Were you a terrible witness?
I don't know. Was taken on. Did
you win the case? Whoever called you, did they win the case?
Yeah, they got off. Interestingly.
Oh, so you created doubt.
Probably. You know.
Yes, that would be a good witness. In criminal cases, you want to create doubt.
Yeah.
You know?
So it was in the person anyway. But the person died.
Yeah, but
eventually.
you tell story with gaps. You will just do a gesture to fill out a part of the story.
Okay.
So it's kind of funny because we're in studio and people can't see you, so they don't know that sometimes you use a gesture to complete a sentence.
Right.
And like they would say, today you said something like something is an institution. Oh, the Christian thing that you were a part of. There's a word that you just use your hands to show me because it is a and then you moved on. So, anyway, communication though, and that's a part of it, and like persons who are differently abled and have to find the meaning of what is being said to them by using other senses because they can't see that there was a whole set of gesticulation because they're visually impaired.
Sign language, yeah.
Yes, or if they're if they're hearing impaired and they can't pick up all the inflections in the voice.
Right.
Then they have to rely, I guess, on the facial expression.
Facial expression and the signs that go with it. So which is why, as I commented early with the mandatory mask wearing, it really affected the deaf community who would be very much focused on people's facial expression along with the things, and it affected my daughter. So that was a part of what happened in regards to that. So, you know, so they give God thanks.
All right. Please, let me just remind you, the studio lines are open. I'm not accustomed to you being so silent. This is only the 4th day of the year. I expect you to be a little more talkative because we are participating in setting our plans, and there are things we have to do, and we're going to do them together. But it does require some sharing of heart and mind. So please call us 619-1508, 876-279-8473. I have been working on phrasing the declarations that I think will be useful to guide Jamaica into this next stage of growth. And I know that we're gonna touch on the area of justice. Obviously, administration of justice has been under a great deal of pressure. It has not performed to expectation, and there's so much more work to be done. I borrowed from Jeremiah 22 verse 13, where it says, "Woe to him who builds his palace by unrighteousness, his upper room by injustice." All right, so now we have a call. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Good morning, sir and miss.
Morning, sir.
Morning. So how you do? All the best for the new year to you.
Thank you very much, and all the best to you too. Yeah, I want to say it is very disturbing to watch entertainment and seeing the top 10 music, selling music, how everyone of them are glorifying the gun in their video.
Yeah, I saw that.
And it is not a good thing for no one at all, because if the government is serious about fighting crime, they should bring in all of those artists who is glorifying the guns.
And
we could start from there and go on with something else, because the children and adults and everybody who is watching the national TV is seeing all of those things.
Okay. Yeah,
and the glory of the gun and the bleach out face boy then. We want to get rid of it.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
And that is all I have to say. We could begin there with that, and they must try and investigate and interrogate those guys and see if they can get something out of them, because that's a good example for us.
Okay. I concur with that, because I was in a business place and I saw a video and I said, who's that? And they tell me it was, but in the video you saw people with M16s, and I'm saying, those are you shooting a video with M16? What, they borrowed the M16 from a policeman or something? But I'm saying something must be wrong with that. Even if it's hard, yeah.
I can remember one artist was on his way, as he explained to the police, to shoot a video with a loaded firearm.
Okay.
And no thing.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
And he's a very young artist, just started out, and he was on his way with a loaded gun to shoot a video. So I don't know what is going on, why the government put up with these things, and they're trying to fight crime.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting connection.
Oh, we have another caller on the line. Thank you, sir. I do appreciate your input. We're going to spend some more time on it. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Good morning.
Hey,
Good morning, Wayne. How are you,
sir?
sir? Happy New Year to you.
Yeah, bless up everyone. Bless up, you know. Yeah, let's at least call a yell up behind them, you know.
Okay.
You don't know. Let's yell up behind them, you know. Nothing to talk about.
Your daughter going back to school? She has gone out back?
No, I'm not saying that yet, you know. Well, me both find it really interesting to say now, but you want to go so me make sure go still.
Okay, so why would not send her? Why would you not send her back out to school? Because she's about, what, 4 or 5?
No, 9.
Oh, she's 9. Yeah, but...
Yeah. Why am I not send her?
Yeah.
Because as you know, this vaccine thing I got become mandatory, so that is the word. And you say, you know, I'm in a body push, not I mean, I'm my child.
Okay.
And my Lord and my God teach me what is my medicine.
Okay.
You understand me? So, yeah, prevention is better than cure. So them warn you everything, roach, and everything will move on the face of the earth and cause themselves to be sick and their immune system weak. And then they're going to make some poison vaccine and some poison medicine again to heal themselves. That is for them business.
Okay.
But I stick to the commandments of my Lord, which is a holy God who teach us to keep myself and my temple and my body holy. So I try to maintain the principle of the Haitian. Certain things in life must never change.
Okay.
You know, you can change how you design your clothes, you can change how you build your house, the car, the drive. When it comes to certain things, you must never change, you know.
Okay.
So,
Wayne.
we not change certain things and we not go bow to what them are coming. Because we know it have to come.
Yeah, but now I think they are, from what you said, Pastor Evan, they are looking to reopen school for both vaccinated and unvaccinated. Would you object to her going back under those
That's why I
circumstances?
tell her, say, she said she want to go and it's no problem. I will send her because she want to go.
Yeah.
But I also tell her, say, it will come a time where you have to get vaccinated to go. It will become a time will come like that where you have to take the vaccine to go. Now, when she gets old enough and big enough and she on her own, if you want to take it, it's up to she. Yeah. You can tell people what I understand by following the science, the facts.
Understood.
You can't force nobody.
All right, my brother. I hope we see you early in the new year. We didn't see you last Thursday.
No, you know me there listening, me I wonder what was going on. I say, so like a little gathering was going on up by the station, but
with Ital Stew One.
We had been talking about it we had been talking about it for about 2 weeks heading up to that day.
Oh, about 2 weeks, I kind of did have a little, not too hearing the program, a little time, so.
Okay. Not
the
to
kind
worry.
of certain thing was kind of slipping me out during that period of time there.
We'll do it again.
But anyway, still, I just say, when we sit down and we study history, we say evil, and as our latest leaders, evil teach I in this time, evil to fight, and we win the battle against the enemies and the oppressors if we do not come together and build our economy where we can stand up our own foot, we can have our own scientists, we can build our own vaccine. You have to find yourself, I've got kiss back them. You know what I'm talking about. So take care on yourself.
You too, my brother. Take care.
Good man. Thanks, man.
Good morning. Welcome to the morning connection.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
So how you do?
Yes, morning to you both. Yes. That caller there, is it Wayne? I like when Wayne talk. Wayne talk a lot of very good things.
Yes, it's Wayne.
Yes. As I look around and check out things, I say to myself, I see people getting all excited about the advancing of a new year. And ever since I was young, from back in my 20s, I used to say, to me, it is all so stupid, so asinine, really, that people get all excited about the new month coming up. January is coming, so therefore, it's all kind of excitement. And to me, as I live, I see every year get worse. That's what I see. I don't see every year get better. And I've never experienced a happy year. Never in my life have experienced a happy year.
Really?
Never. No, I never experienced a happy year. Everything gets worse to me. More laws, more rules, more power going in Jerusalem now. Even Jerusalem, where God's name dwells forever. It's total Sodom and Gomorrah. In a man to go them kill one man that I didn't really know him, but I see him just the other day. And them kill him, set off him head and into one. I don't see it.
Is this a recent?
A betterment.
That's a recent thing.
There may be a betterment in there is better phones. There's better phone, a better phone there. But so what?
Well,
but human being are better.
Yeah, well, undoubtedly, people have mixed experiences, and so it is. I accept what you say, that you have not experienced the happiness that some people speak of, but I can assure you it is real and it exists, and it really would be good if you had the experience, and you're still here, so it is yet to come.
If I know what happiness is and what love is, I know what friendship is and family and people who love you and you love. I understand all that part, but I was just speaking
cynically,
not personally so much, but generally speaking, as the nation, as the world goes, as the world. Oh, look at this real fast, and I'll go. When them say you must elbow, you must elbow to elbow.
Yes.
Isn't that making us come closer than when we go fist to fist? When we go fist to fist, we're far apart. When we go elbow to elbow, we're closer. And the idea is to stay 6 feet apart, right?
No, the idea is to minimize the opportunities for spreading the virus. One parameter is if you're gonna be in proximity to another person, 6 feet. But you can breach that in a way that is safe. So they're saying the hands touching is creates a greater opportunity for the virus to be transferred from your hand to your face and therefore into your body.
Well, if I meet a stranger, I would rather fist to fist than elbow to elbow because, like I say, we are getting closer when we're elbow to elbow.
Well, the reason why the elbow is selected, though some person said to me, we are taught to cough inside our elbow.
Yeah, pass it on.
If something drained out to your elbow, you could pass it on. But the idea is that your elbow will never touch your face.
And I hear there's a bishop comes on the radio and pray to stop crime. But I think it's for him personally, him as a man too. I think you cannot pray and you don't agree with God with what God say.
Yeah.
So you can't pray and then you're doing the wrong thing.
True, but
you have to be in agreement with God to get God to give you what you desire from Him.
Well, can I tell you something? This is. Do we have another call before I get to philosophical?
Yes.
It is not a matter of getting God to give. God has given. It is there. It is man putting himself in a position to receive, and that's what prayer is meant to do. We're not trying to exhort God to give us something that He's withholding because we haven't been good children. When properly understood, the blessings of God are abundant and they are there to be taken. But can you make the walk to go and pick up what is your share? And so...
I didn't hear that question. What?
No, it was rhetorical. I said, I was just emphasizing that it is for us to each put ourselves in a position to claim the blessings that are already there. God isn't withholding it. He has put it on a table and said, that over there is for mankind. You got to make your way to it and take it.
So
the pastor
don't we have to be in agreement, though?
Well, to get there requires agreement with his ways and his principles.
Right, that's what I mean, yes.
So, right. I figure that's what you meant.
Yeah,
so
man.
a pastor who's praying, the pastor is using the tool that he has. His job is to pray, and maybe the prayer won't work for you to inspire and motivate you to come into agreement, but it may do so for someone else. You, on the other hand, may be motivated to come into agreement by talking to me or by observing nature and seeing the order in which certain things progress. There's always something in His creation that can bring each person to the point of agreement.
Well, actually, I was speaking of you have to agree with God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why.
That's what I about. That's the only thing that matters, really.
We are talking about the same thing.
I talk about the same thing. But you see, one of the things I want to add to us praying, I always say to people, after you have prayed, then you must get up and act. So if you believe and you pray against crime and violence, what are the root causes of crime and violence? And so if you're in agreement, because it is not God's will for humankind to live violent and to kill off each other. That was never His will. So now what is it that I need to do as an individual that become a part of the solution in terms of saying, okay, there's a little area that I have influence over. My faith tells me I will do what I need to do. Like for me, what I continue to do is to mentor young men, at-risk young men, so that indeed they do not become victims or perpetrator of the violence that we see in our nation.
Yes.
So when I pray now, I have moved beyond that a long time ago.
Or you pray while working.
Yeah, so you pray and work, and that's how it did. You pray and you work. You pray and you work. You pray and you work, and you see the solution.
Pray and work.
Pray and work. Yeah, man. That's what the faith really means. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think part of the problem why there's so much crime is because there is no judgment coming from the government, and they refuse to do the death penalty. That is the next part of the problem. But nobody now wants to talk about that. But it will never change.
Okay.
And I think that by any nation that chooses to go their own way deserve anything they get.
That's not because if we choose not to obey the laws of God, then we will suffer the consequences of that. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, my brother. Happy New Year, anyway.
Well,
I couldn't resist it. All right, thank you.
Blessed New Year. Yeah.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Africa love my sister and brother.
Africa love.
Good morning, sir. Happy New Year and blessed New Year to you.
Yes, man, and see him to the eye, you know. But this morning, listen to the introduction, you know. I was looking and I was always taught to know that, you know, the Almighty select, you know, him appointed, and him ordain it, and him protected who him select, and appointed and ordain it to do his work, to carry out his works. You know what I mean? That's why he was even working with him 12 disciples.
True.
You know? You know what I mean? To really spread, you know, the gospel, the words of the Almighty.
True.
The world. You know what I mean? So you sometimes, some of us pick up a position and we wasn't really selected. We select ourselves.
That's true.
You know what I mean? And thing. You know, but I hear what the brethren was saying a while ago is that in man to go be a 2-hand chop off and head chop off, that's what they were saying.
Yeah, that's what I was checking to see if I found that thing, yeah.
Yeah, you know. I was wondering if it's last year thing or this year thing, you know what I mean? This year we start with a rapid, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
We're going to couple well at this date of the first, you know, month in the new year. You know, and this thing people go on at this pace, then, you know, we're going to break our next record.
Well, it's one of the reasons why we are applying our minds to speaking, framing the declarations, developing the resolve to turn in a fresh direction. And if it is at all possible that most of us fall into agreement with a more prosperous agenda for the country. If not, you're right.
Right. And I respect the brethren from Barbados who we had on the program also speaking about the moving to Queen, you know.
Yep.
And that I believe that would be one of the next moves, you know what I mean, for Jamaica.
Definitely on the card.
You know. And I only hope that they come to that decision as early as possible.
You don't have to do no study. As him pointed out, you don't have to do no study. You just do it.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, on the other hand, even though we fall and we talk, we talk for the best.
True.
Right? But as we Bongo said a while ago, in prayer and in work.
Yeah, it has to be.
Well, I believe now that's why I was mentioning a petition, you know.
Okay.
To let the government and opposition know that, you know what I mean, the people are fed up or they have to do better. You know what I mean? But we kind of send a message to them to make them realize that we don't like what is going on because we know it can be better.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So we have to kind of give them a message to make them understand that we are not pleased.
True.
And you can't have a good government without a good opposition.
True.
Right? You understand, man? Maybe in the other end, we need also the opposition, you know what I mean, to drop for them sleep too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, both sides. It is
right, both of them. If not, both of them going to become victim of the petition.
True.
Right, so I could show that, you know, I don't know how you can formulate that, Mrs. Lawrence.
No,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, we're gonna discuss the specifics.
Right, yeah, that, you know. Try make a solid message reach these people.
Yeah.
Good.
Right?
All right, my brother. Thank you for that. Good morning and welcome to the Morning Connection.
Hello, good morning. Yeah, we were looking at the headlines. What and school was thing yesterday, began slowly, because I think it caught a lot of parents off guard. But what I find interesting is the UWI The chancellor and the vice chancellor fighting. Ooh, what are they fighting over?
You tell me.
Power?
Because you expressed an opinion earlier. You came off the back. You came on before me.
You know what I'm saying? They can't understand how the politics of change or politics of control or politics of.
So there was an article in the Sunday paper talking about what appears to be some disagreement between, I'm not saying disagreement, the Vice Chancellor, who is the admin head of UWI. His contract was recently renewed, and it appears that
Jamaica and Trinidad never
some
wanted.
opposition and the Minister of Education in Jamaica expressed the view that they need different leadership.
Wow.
Well, a lot of persons say we need different leadership in the Ministry of Education, and I don't see her leaving. It's time for us to take a break? Yes? All right, let's take the break and come back.
We'll be right back.
Looking to clean your vehicle super clean? 123 Clean Car Wash, located at 2 1/4 Osborne Road, Kingston 10. Entrance on Grove Road, below Tropical Battery. They wash and vacuum, undercarriage wash, engine wash, polish and compound, shampoo and detailing. Call them at 876-631-3400. 123 Clean Car Wash, the best in the business for a cleaner wash.
Believe me, it's so easy. 1, 2, 3.
The Go Loud Cash Call is live and 50K is on the line. Tune in to Best FM Tuesday, January 4 and Friday, January 7, 2022 to listen to live calls. Who knows? It could be your lucky number. Must be using the Go Loud app and a digital customer to qualify. Go Loud, simply more radio and podcast. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting
The station that makes you feel good.
I love the station. I think it's great.
My station.
Moving.
My station.
Moving. Keep it right here. Keep it right here.
Best FM. Keep listening.
There will be days when you're too tired to move, to drive, but you think you have to because your vehicle won't wash itself, right? But no, you don't have to visit a car wash. 123 Mobile Car Wash will come straight to you. Yes, you heard right. 123 Mobile Car Wash is offering services in Kingston and St. Andrew and St. Catherine. We shampoo and detail cars, trucks, offices, and more. No job too small. Call us at 876-631-3400. 123 Mobile Car Wash. We come to you.
Who's ready to answer the Go Loud Cash Call? Here's your chance to be one of 4 winners of 50,000 weekly. Just answer the Go Loud Cash Call with the phrase
Simply More Radio and Podcast.
And the money is yours. Tune in to Best FM Tuesday, January 4 and Friday, January 7, 2022 to listen to live calls. Go Loud, Simply More Radio and Podcast. Text 402 to 137 for more information. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
Vejan Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Vejan Printers, your best choice in printing.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection. Hello, caller.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Neville. How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
Very well, thank you, sir.
Yeah, morning to your listeners and your valuable callers. Now, yesterday, I called this show and tell you about the care packages that were on the ground.
Yes.
Yeah, the package that I spoke about is really true. It's on the ground.
So it is persons who earn 50,000 or less are eligible for $10,000.
Yeah, but you have to be in the tax net.
Yes.
I mean, you have to be getting a pay advice.
Yeah.
But I want to tackle the crime this morning, Pastor. This minute.
Go ahead.
I have 5 suggestions I want to put to your show quickly, okay?
I deal with the crime.
But let me start with this one first. The largest communication group in Jamaica last year is a group named the RJR Gleaner Group. And they declared that they made a profit after and before tax of 137 million. Right? And one of the strategies that they use is that they go all island and sell their product. Now, Best FM, what Best FM is doing is a good crime fighter. But Best FM need to market more marketing in order to get the message across all the corners in Jamaica for the people to show real change, you know?
Okay.
So I will suggest that Best FM go on they don't have to go all island. They have to go on a parish, select some parish from time to time and visit those parish centers and see if you can get the people to gravitate more in sponsoring the program and listening to the program.
Okay. You're in agreement.
Yeah, but
there are plans afoot to do that. Yeah.
For this show, actually.
Yeah, for this show.
Yeah, with that, Pastor.
Yes, sir.
The people need to recognize that they're going to need more than money in order to stay rich and sustain their lifestyle.
Okay. That's true.
Now, the councillors that you have, parish councillors, they need to be more qualified in order to manage the nooks and crannies of Jamaica. These little parish councillors where you have, who they have 5 good PhD or a good degree, they can't manage council. They're just working on behalf of their political agenda and they divide up the people and create more malice and tension to inequity. Can't work anymore. We need councillors and mayors who have management skill and are educated, sensible people who prove it on the ground.
I agree.
Yeah, in Chicago had 750 murder last year.
It was high.
And they call in Chicago now a failed state. And they're asking the mayor to step down.
You mean Blue?
And they're asking
Lightfoot?
Huh?
The lady named Lightfoot?
Yeah, the mayor of Chicago. Yeah. I don't know her name, but they're asking her to step down. And they say Illinois is now a failed state.
Yeah.
And they say since the Bulls are not winning the NBA anymore, the crime go up. Now the government have a $1 billion budget that they're using to fight about state of emergency and so. I think they should form a pact with these clubs, these football, netball, these sports clubs that represent Jamaica well. Even the Premier Leagues in the community. And they need to see how they can sit down with these clubs, executive, and craft a crime fighting plan in the community to save these young youths between the age of, say, 10 and 30, you know? Because I believe that investing in sports is a good thing to fight crime. And you could go house by house and show them the importance of sports in fighting crime, you know?
Yes, I've experienced that. I used to do what we call the church league, and it was even more widespread in communities. And we have products today of people who are involved and their lives have been totally changed, moving from lives of crime to upstanding people in their communities who are well respected. So that has been proven and tried. We just need to make it more widespread.
Another thing we need to do, we need to educate our women. Because insecure women breed crime enough, Pastor.
That's an interesting point. Let me hear, all minute will respond to that.
Oh, I'm right.
Yeah, man. The baddest gunman me ever know in Jamaica was a gunman named General Starkey.
Okay.
Yeah, that time I live in Amic Gardens. I'm talk to all Starkey and see with all him big gun. And I talk to me and say, you want to school, you know? You follow?
Yeah.
Because back then, those dons, as they used to call them, top ranking, they used to encourage us to go to school. That time I was going to Jamaica College.
Okay.
And no matter how bad you start is, the woman control him. But we go look money bring come give her.
Okay.
And the police statistics is telling us that 50% of the domestic crime in Jamaica is due to transactional theft.
Okay.
That is the data telling us that now. So we Jamaican males, we need to cut out on the buying of sex from women. And I don't want anybody any apology when I say that. But serious, Pastor.
All right.
Pastor, let me ask you this minute.
Yeah.
You're a lawyer, right?
Sometimes.
Eh?
Sometimes. I used to be.
Yeah, and you know law. You know law good in Jamaica, right?
Yes, I do.
You think is that the law in Jamaica is set up to protect the masses?
No.
Talk to me, the Pastor.
No, I'm reflecting on what you say because my first answer is no, because
oh God,
laws really don't protect people. They're not.
Pastor, me go to the bank yesterday, go check up on my bank interest. You hear me, Pastor?
I may hear you, and it was 0%.
When me go check on my bank interest on a Bank of Nova Scotia, Jamaica Limited, me no get no interest on my money, Pastor.
I'm sure you had paid a lot of fees.
Bank of Nova Scotia, eh?
I'm sure you had paid a lot of fees.
And look here, if them catch me with $1 million in my house, there's a law tell them to lock me up, done.
Yes, that's true.
And if me put the $1 million in the bank, DNS, Bank of Nova Scotia, the amount of money that they paid their shareholder last year is 13% profit. 13 cents out of every dollar that the investor invests. And me as a saver don't get nothing out of that $13. So this the whole saving interest how we deal with one another in terms of distribution of money. All of them law they have to go revise faster because the money causing the problem.
Okay.
Pastor, I will retire in 15 years, you see?
Mm-hmm.
And you see when we check with my NIS last week Friday, the National Insurance Fund,
mm-hmm.
we have $2.8 million in the NIS. And the lady tell me, say, the NIS might be dysfunctional by the time I get retired because they don't have enough contributors contributing to the fund.
So they
How you work out that, Pastor?
So they're paying out more than that's coming in.
Yes, and with the state of the economy now, they're getting less return on their investment so that they can keep the fund going. Then that's why NIS contributor get an increase in this country, in this high level of inflation. You think we can live off of $12,000 a month, 10 years time?
We know you can't.
Nobody can.
So what is the Minister of Finance doing about these investments? If I get my $2.8 million now, I invest it better than how the Minister of Finance can invest my $2.8 million. Talk to me, the Pastor.
That's
as
true.
A Christian man.
No, but I'm saying that is true.
That's why we're on.
We could have put on a rope on my house and collect rent sheet, you know.
That's true.
That's why we're on.
So what they doing with my money? What they doing with my $2.8 million?
They're investing it with BNS.
Okay, all right.
I'm gonna have to take another call. I've made a note of the points, and I want to come back to them, and we have some substantial discussion on each.
The law is against the people of Jamaica, Pastor. Thank you for your contribution.
All right, Never. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for holding.
Yes, I kind of no agree with Neville with part of what him say a while ago, you know.
But that's all right.
What,
but
you don't or you agree?
No, I don't agree with the first part where him said about the councillors need to be
qualified.
Yes, they need to be good managers for true and so forth. But they CXCs and so forth them at talk about. Me not no CXC. And I, as a community developer within my community, came up with plans in 2007 for the development of my community, where we look at climate change. Because after we did a climate change project, the climate change ministry come into being, you know, in my community by my minister, Robert Pickersgill.
Okay.
What we did, we were planting 100 acres of mangoes and June plums. We were looking to do that, and we were looking to put in place a processing factory with true juice. We were looking to buy from us mango nectar and June plum nectar. We look at the development of our market, which were there, and also we look at moving our cooperative within the community for the farmers to be a part of.
I know you.
We never have no CXC. We not no CXC, no.
What's that vision you need?
Look at plans like those as community developer and leaders, which our member of parliament crash and our councillors crash, and them have them CXC and them college degree and so forth.
Okay.
So when we are talking, you get what I say?
Yes.
And a college degree and them thing they do that
Common
most
sense.
time.
It's common
I
sense.
agree with you, and I think the best way to understand what Neville was saying is that those who are actually working in the area need to have the qualifications and the competence to do a good job. Sometimes you can hire it, you can have a team around you. When he spoke, what came into my spirit was that we still have to maintain that those who are representing the community have the relationship and the knowledge and the understanding of things happening in the community to be accepted as representatives, and it won't always be the person with the academic qualifications.
I agree with you. That is what I'm trying to do.
Common sense. Some of the time it's common sense. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Because you have to have because you see, you can't train to be a leader more time, you know. You're born a leader sometime, you know.
Those qualities are part of your character.
Yes. So, but if you are a person who is willing to look at changes and development truly for people, because that's how we don't have, you know, no compassion no more, you know, for people, you know.
Yeah.
It's just wealth and such like, you know. And if we don't have that compassion for people and support, we won't have that development vibe within us to move the community and our organization, our country forward.
Well said.
The truth of the matter is, some people, it's not that they failed the exams. Some people never took it, didn't walk that path. So it's not that they lack the brain power and the ability to be successful if they had gone an academic route. They just didn't go that route. And we don't want to close the door.
Yeah, man.
You know what reach a virgin of mine the other day? Them say him have COVID and him go to the police station in 12 o'clock in the night. Because him a 80-year-old. So him, I have to say a little mental thing catch him and so forth. The police then run him out. Them a back off and then run him out. Now, him reach home safe because a brethren of mine go and help him and make him reach home back safe. But the next day the ambulance go for him. And 4 attendants in the ambulance. And them all have on them masks and them protective gear. And you know, none of them would have hold the man and put in the vehicle. At the same brethren now, when you have nothing and him and the next person have to hold the man put in the vehicle and so forth. Then you couldn't catch COVID if I COVID the man up.
Yes. Yeah.
And you who get fear and you know your protective gear, you're afraid to do that. You see the thing will happen to we as a people. We don't have no love and the things. We don't look at it, you know, how we people them, you know.
We're looking at it now, my brother, and you're highlighting it. I know it, what you said touched me, touching a few other persons who are listening. It's like a virus too, you know, it will spread.
Yeah, so you know what? Our police, our teachers, our doctors and nurses need to be trained in psychology. I believe they need to make sure,
that awareness has to be increased. Because, you know, we don't
it's supposed to be a part of them training.
We don't want to be like
compassion.
We don't want to say that they need to get academic qualifications for something that, as you rightly say,
it's compassion.
You're gonna be born having a certain type of heart. All right, my brother.
Thank you for calling.
Call to take, and then
man, you're welcome.
In the final stretch. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Last year, I call you, I said to you, I look at work, and you tell me I'm employed.
Hey, all right, Wayne.
You didn't show up on Thursday. I was looking for you on Thursday because we have things to do. But I hope that we will get together soon.
We will link up then.
All right, Wayne.
You see, me and Mr. Never refer to about educating the woman and the man have to stop by sex.
Yes.
You know, and I talked to you the last year, and I refer to say, man can't great unless woman is great.
Mm-hmm.
And I call her the calling after. I don't know if it was misunderstanding what I was saying. But the real fact is, if you are a true man who understands greatness and true value, you want to pass that on to your woman, and your woman would pass on that to the child when you are not around. You know, because you say, we are one, you know, man and woman is one. We are one. You know, man and woman have to go bring forth man and woman. You know, so you have to, woman have to educate themselves.
True.
Yeah, ladies, you have to love education, learn to do things. No make no man come telling about them I got provide for you, unless him are the Almighty God, and even the Almighty God have him queen beside him. You understand me? Because male and female vibration.
Yes.
Okay.
You understand me? So ladies, trust me, you don't need a man to provide nothing for you. Nothing. More than give you good loving and return you and be your companion to one another. That's all a woman need for a man.
Okay. All right.
To love you. Likewise, that's all a man need from a woman too. For the woman to love him and to be a companion. Everything else we can produce. All right, we talk about AI time. AI time, right? And the more machine we have, the less human being need for work. So what going to the human being? We're not going to kill them out, or we don't know, make them plant them food, and just go and enjoy life. Because machines supposed to make life easier for human beings, so I have more time to enjoy myself.
To enjoy your family.
I have more time to play with my woman, to caress my woman, and my woman caress me, and we go up on the beach with our children, and we enjoy myself.
Okay.
You know, that's what machines supposed to do, you know, make life easier for us, you know.
Yeah, you're painting a picture there that I want to leave the show with that in my mind.
And you know, mankind, we can solve all our problems that we have, but we need something we call justice and righteousness. And you find that in the Bible, you know. Yeah. The Bible is a book of justice and righteousness, you know.
Foundation of the throne.
You need to read in the Bible, black people.
All right.
We not follow them who not read them Bible, you know, black people, African people. I use the word African too. Because we say African, you know who we attack.
Yes, sir.
You need to read in the Bible, you know. We have Marcus Garvey teachings out there. Them books they're supposed to sell like hot bread, you know. Every black home supposed to have in a Marcus Garvey philosophy and opinion, you know. We have a Selassie teaching out there when write about him life, autobiography 1 and 2, and the elect speeches of His Majesty, you know. Malcolm X. We're supposed to study, you know, black people. Because the world will not see freedom until two African spiritual people come together and promote freedom. You know? The world away for we in Africa.
All right, Wayne. Yeah. Tomorrow. So we see you tomorrow. All right, bless you.
Man, bless up.
Yeah. All right, thank you all. I know we're feeling a little burnout with the YouTube thing being what it is, so we're not able to communicate with some of our listeners. But those who have come on board with us, we appreciate you greatly. Thank you very much for the phone calls, for the 1 or 2 comments. Conrad, you know we forgive easily. So you woke up late, but you have stayed right up to the last minute. Thank you to those who participated in the Go Loud. I know that $50,000 will be in somebody's hands very soon.
On Friday.
To the producer and the engineer, thank you both. Pastor Percy, thanks as always. To Mr. Griffith.
Was on
Barbados.
Yes. Some interesting perspective.
Will be in Barbados.
Wow, speak it, declare it, sister. As the person said to us, we need to move out and go around select parishes.
Yes, well, you know.
Yeah, we say we're working on it. We're working on it.
Yeah, man. That is a part.
He's confirming it.